All right.
Actually, I'm going to blow my nose real quick.
Sweet. All right. There's the people. We're live. Can you see it? Did you get a notification? Can you share it? All right.
Is that
So,
Leah?
yeah, most likely. All right. So, just want to make sure we got everything here. I got 10 Heritage, 12 Sweet Mash, the taster, 14 Coy Hill, a Tenured Hill.
Yeah. I mean, I have my single barrel strength, but
Do you want to throw that one in there? Well, so
let's just see what happens once we get to 9.
yeah, because we can
Mine's got
also,
great flavor. I really like mine.
yeah, well, we can also do, once we get to the Tenured Hill, we can also try the twice barreled and the single barrel strength rye as well.
Yeah, we'll hit all the ryes together.
Okay. Oh man, I wish I had a fan in here. This ring light's making me hot.
The spring light?
Ring light. Leah had a
Ring
ring light.
Oh.
Okay.
Can't tell if I'm crooked or if my phone is crooked. I think my phone is crooked.
You got a level on your thing?
No, this is just some. That looks right. Well, we had more when we were doing the test run the other day.
No, I know. All right. You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and pour the single barrel strength and just put it in the lineup. Where do you want to put it?
After the taster.
After the taster?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't, even though it's a little bit higher proof, I don't want to put it before or after 14. I guess I could go ahead and pour the other ones.
I did. I went ahead and poured everything
Yeah.
just so.
At least
Mine's pretty old. Mine is a 21. So it's been
what?
my single barrel strength.
Oh,
I mean, it still had
that's
probably.
yeah. You bought that. I remember you when we were down there for Christmas that year.
It's got.
You're still trying to get all of those.
Yeah, it's got probably a little bit over 50% left, so it's probably fine. Especially being a barrel strength.
No. Oh, yeah. I'm batch 2 on Jack 10.
Leah, can you are you in here, Leah? Can you say something in the chat and make sure we got everything going?
So this is where I was trying to figure out how to at people.
Yeah, Leah's here. She can hear us. And she's here.
Is she wildflower photography?
Yeah.
Dude, I'm telling you this, you're going to be excited for this taster. It is really good.
Let's see. Smells good. That chalk marker idea was really good. It works really well, actually.
Good. Dude,
and now I don't have to remember
samples,
where everything is.
Yeah. For the samples you're sending in the mail, I think the better option will be a pen and some stickers. That's what I do with my Whiskey of the Month Club.
You mean like little circle stickers or something?
Yeah, I get little circle stickers. I stick it on the cap, and then I write out with pen. I think that'd be a good option. Should I pour this whole 14? I'm gonna do it.
I did. I don't want. I wanted. I mean, we're going to use it all, and I wanted to make sure I got enough. Damn, I almost just poured the 14 out.
Coy Hill. Okay. So I'm gonna attempt to enter the chat and
Tag people.
yeah.
Leah, did you share it to Biza already? And Leah, do you want some headphones in there?
So I don't think we can enter the chat.
So
I'm clicking on the little chat box.
Top chat, live chat.
Like I can control everyone, but I can't actually
chat in there.
Yeah. Share with your audience. Ooh, maybe I can.
Nope. Yeah. No. Well, I can say hi.
How'd you do
I don't
that?
know if I can. It literally just popped up and said, "Say hi to your audience," but I can't find a text box.
I'm.
Did you freeze? I think you froze, Michael. You were frozen for a minute. I don't know what happened.
I was on Facebook. Could you not hear me?
No, I couldn't hear anything you were saying or doing. You were frozen.
Oh, I thought you could still hear me. That was just my camera.
Okay, Leah said she shared it to Visa. I don't know why. I don't know what's going on or why there's only like she's the only one in here right now.
I don't know either.
I saw notifications. Like I had notifications on my phone that you went live. So.
Well, you go and start.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it'll save. I don't want to have 10 minutes of
too much dead time in the middle.
Garbage on. All right.
That's all right.
Well, guys, what we're doing here, this is the first edition of Brothers in Bourbon. So periodically we will we'll get on together and we'll be tasting either current like allocations or just high end bottles, or maybe some if we ever get a hold of some dusties, that'll be in the future. But just kind of things that are on the market that people want to know about or that everyone else is doing. So today is the best of Jack Daniels. So in the lineup, we have Jack Daniels 10-year first, batch 2. And then we are going to go to the Heritage Toasted Barrel. So the blue square bottle. And then Jack Daniels 12, batch 3. And then we have, these are currently out. If you're in Tennessee, they'll be pretty easy to get. I don't know what they're like in other states. I don't think my brother in Texas has seen these yet.
I've never seen one anywhere other than Tennessee.
Okay. So these are basically experimental, kind of like feeling out the market that Jack Daniels does. If they go good, usually they'll release them. So this is a 9-year-old sweet mash. It's a 9-year-old sweet mash. It's 117 proof. Really freaking good. I mean, it's if you really think about it, that's basically a sweet mash Jack 10. I mean, it's just a single barrel thing, but um,
Yeah, because these aren't single barrels, so I'm pretty sure
no, yeah,
they're probably nine
yeah,
plus.
yeah, it's just a dump. Um, but and then we're gonna go to, and this will be. I mean, these are everywhere in the country, and obviously, me and my brothers are going to be a little bit different. But we're just going to do the regular shelf release single barrel strength. In Tennessee, you get tons of store picks of this. This is not a store pick, but you can get a store pick at almost any store of one of those in Tennessee. And then Jack Daniel's 14, batch one, which neither one of us have ever had. I'm really excited for that one. And then Coy Hill, what is this? 2024, and this is the 134 proof. So some really freaking good bottles. Jack Daniel's has become one of my favorite brands over the last 5 years. They went from zero to hero for me. Um, so here we
Yeah,
go.
they Jack Daniel's, of all the legacy distilleries of in recent years, they have really started to cater to the connoisseur market or like the whiskey enthusiast market.
Yeah,
And obviously, getting things for MSRP is extremely difficult these days as it's allocated. But unlike all these other distilleries, like Wild Turkey, Master Keeps, and their Russells, their high-end Russells are like $250 to $300 MSRP, including like all your Four Roses LEs. All the LEs and limiteds these days are $250 to $300 at least. But Jack Daniels has continued to provide not only really good whiskey, but really good value. I think the tin, they just increased the price of a tin this last release from like 70 to 80, and then they put the 12 to 90, I think. And the 14, they moved it to 150. But as far as, 14-year-old whiskey annual release, I'd pay 150 all day and twice on Sunday. So,
yeah, yeah.
just a quick note though, that Coy Hill is 137.0, not 134. So,
Oh, that's at 134. Not bad.
yeah, sorry.
Yeah. So here we go. So starting on Jack
Yeah,
10. So 97 proof, 10 years old.
batch two. This one, like obviously it's 10 years, so it's going to have some age, but it's oak on it is very, very balanced. Like obviously this is first glass, so we got to kind of warm up and get into it. But that's just like such. It's really, I don't know. Describe it as maybe warm oak. It's just very, very nice and easy. This is what 97, right?
Yeah.
97, yeah, 97 proof.
Dude, the something else I've noticed in doing some of the tastings with NBC, because we have a Tennessee whiskey from TDG in the back, but I don't I don't know if it's just because I'm getting so familiar with it or if the age and the proof kind of overpowers it a little bit. But I don't specifically get Tennessee nose right off the bat anymore like I used to. Used to when I would smell a Jack Daniel's product, he was like immediately like, okay, that's Tennessee whiskey or any Tennessee whiskey in general. Um, and I think maybe because I used to not like it, but now that I like it, it's not so like in your face.
Hmm. Um, maybe not on the nose, but I feel like on the palate, the Tennessee came through a lot more. It definitely obviously doesn't have like the Dickel minerality as
No,
much,
no,
but just a touch of it. Yeah, yeah, no, it comes through on the nose too. I think maybe after that first sip. I think
yeah,
when before I had my first sip, it was I just got that warm, nice oak on it.
right,
But now that I've had the first sip, that um, I think you normally call it Jack Daniel's funk, and not in the normal sense of funk,
yeah,
but
yeah. I used to. That's what I used to think funk was that because I would always because Jack Daniels always puts the words sour mash original
mhm,
sour mash on their labels, and before I knew what sour mash and sweet mash meant, that's what I associated. It was like a soured grain note, like a
yeah,
fermented grain note.
yeah,
Um,
fermented grain, yeah, it's probably better. Yeah, the definitely Tennessee funk kind of definitely comes through now. That that
Yeah.
warm oak fades a little bit. Not
So
crazy sweet.
no, it's not, and that's what I was about to say. So in times past where I've drank this, now I will say, probably over half the time I've drank this bottle, it's been outside, and everything smells sweeter to me when I'm outside.
Ooh.
Um, but I remember getting like toffee, not just caramel sweet, like specifically toffee on this. But right now I'm almost getting a coffee note, like a stout beer.
A, a stout coffee type. Okay. I get the beer a lot more. I think that's that sour, that funk sour kind of coming through. Because obviously the beer is going to be pre-distillation, right?
Right.
And I think some of that's coming through for sure. I just sniffed the Heritage Barrel real quick just to see because it's initially this smelled toasted to me,
Hmm.
but then the Heritage Barrel smells like it's maple syrup. So
It is a sweet one, yeah, and the sweetness is so take a slower, softer, longer draw on the tin, and that sweet comes in on like the back end of that draw.
yeah, I see what you're saying. I think it's just so subtle and so light to me that
It is.
honestly the funk is very prevalent on the tin. Now mine's probably over half gone now, and it's at least a year old, so it also has opened up a lot.
Hmm.
I mean, it's good. It's just it's really it's
Mm.
pretty balanced overall. But I think predominantly is that funk note, but it's still very light.
Yeah. So on that long draw, that coffee note, so that sweet came through, but the coffee never left. It was almost a like a charred. I don't drink coffee, but like some kind of caramel coffee. I
Caramel
don't know what you
coffee.
would call
Okay.
it, like a caramel shot in a coffee. But that palate, and my palate is not as good as my nose. My nose is better than my palate, but that palate was really really nice, very approachable, very
Yeah.
pleasant, nice, sweet, a little bit of spice, a little bit of oak. Like I think balanced is a good word for that. What you've been saying, I think balanced is a really great word for this. It's just it's everything you need. It's nothing you don't. There's nothing super special or fancy or things that jump out
Yeah.
at you, but there's nothing even remotely bad at all. Um,
Uh,
it's really it's above average and solid all the way.
yeah. I think that if you have access to it, right, and you're getting somebody like somebody's just been starting getting into whiskey or whatever, right? And you want to kind of steer them towards Tennessee and show them how good stuff is. I think the regular single barrels are a good way to do it, the black
Hmm.
label single barrels.
Yep.
And I think if you have access to it, the 10 year is really good because it's still pretty mild on the proof, and it's going to give you everything that Jack has for its profile
Yep.
without tipping super far one way, super oaky. Because like the Jack 12 Batch 2, super oaky. The Batch 3, much sweeter banana. So I think this kind of gives you that, hey, this is Jack. Now we'll go from here and we can kind of,
Yeah.
show you what else they can do.
And so something else that people need to be aware of. Go ahead. What's up? Okay. No, all good. Um, so something else that something else that I think people need to be aware of. So most bourbon is going to come from Kentucky, Indiana, Tennessee. You could throw Tennessee whiskey into that. It's you know
Sure.
what I'm saying.
It's
But
bourbon. Yeah.
yeah, so don't forget that Jack is in southern Tennessee. It's almost Alabama. So that really does make up for a lot of the aging. So a a 5 or 6 year Tennessee whiskey is going to be a lot darker than a 5 or 6 year Kentucky or Indiana, respectively. On average. Obviously, there's different barrels that can do different things, but so you do like 10 years in Tennessee is that's a long time. That's a really long
Yeah.
time. It's longer than 10 years in Louisville because again, so Louisville, it's not just Kentucky or the Bourbon Trail. Most of the distilleries they're kind of northern Kentucky.
Well, and if you look at Eagle Rare, right, Buffalo Trace, Frankfurt is pretty far up there.
Yeah, yeah. So there is, it's not huge, but there is a pretty good geographical difference. Um, and you're going to get a little bit more heat influence
Yeah.
from Jack Daniels than you would, especially because they have the massive rick houses that you can go up to 8 or 9 stories, right? And then they have
Mhm.
elevation, and that's where you get to things like Coy Hill
True.
and Tanyard Hill, where it's like,
Mhm.
damn, that thing was in the barrel a long time. It's really high proof. It was in the top of the rick house, like 100%. I'm gonna hit this last sip, and then
Yeah.
we'll give it a little ranking, and we'll move on to the next one. That's a beautiful nose, and that's what I'm saying. Like Tennessee, I don't know if I want to say this, but just as a category as a whole, good Tennessee whiskey might be my favorite category.
Yeah, but
And I never
the,
thought
the
I'd say that.
the problem is most people associate Tennessee whiskey with two things: either Black Label Jack, like
Right.
Old Number 7, or Dickel. And those two things, people really in the enthusiast market, people really dislike those things.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so because every time I talk to somebody that's relatively new to whiskey, and I tell them that Jack's got a lot of really good stuff, they're always surprised.
Oh yeah,
Um,
oh yeah, and they've been doing it for what, 6, 7 years now. They've had these square bottles out.
yeah, because I got 21s. So it's at least 5 years, probably at max somewhere around 7. I mean, I guess you got to talk about the old heritage barrels and like the twice barrels and stuff like that too.
Yeah.
I don't know those that came out in 23, and I'm sure they had some special releases that were probably a little bit before that too. Um, yeah, that's
Look,
really nice, really balanced.
yeah. I rank this right about the same every time. This is mid 80s for me. It's what I like. It's a great nose. It's easy, approachable. It's a great first drink. If
Mm,
I was to do it for the
yeah,
second or third, the proof would be lacking. But 97 is a great proof for the first drink.
yep.
It's an easy sipper if you're gonna have one drink, sit outside by a fire, or just chilling out. Like, it's a great 2 or 3 ounce
I,
pour. That's what you're gonna do for the night. I love this. This is what I want. I'm gonna give that, yeah, mid
yeah.
80s.
I don't know if I'd go mid 80s. I think it's a little high. So, we talk about the scale, right? 50 is like the most average across the board
True.
whiskey you can have,
True.
right? Like I'm trying to think of like some really average stuff. Like maybe, I don't know. We kind of talk about this sometimes. Would you give like the Jim Beam White, Black Jack Old 7? Like, is that what we kind of go for, like 50?
If I was, yeah, again, we always do this. But what really ends up happening is that 70 is good, or is good or not good for me. That's really what I usually end up doing. It's 70. It's
Yeah.
good, not bad. But really, these scores should be much lower. But this is what I always
Well,
rank things
I,
on.
I
So
would go 75 on this. I think that's halfway in between like the best whiskey ever made, which nothing will ever get 100, and the most average whiskey, right? I think 75 for me. That's where Jack 10 is. So,
I could
which
I
that's
could
a
live. Which, now that you say it, like, I need to give myself some room. I need to bump that down
yeah.
to 80. I need to bump that
Because
down to
if you're
80.
going mid 80s, that leaves you 15 points to get all the way
Right,
up to
right, right.
14.
All right, I'm gonna clear my nose a little bit. I'll take my
Oh man,
headphones out so y'all don't hear it.
wow. Going to the Heritage Barrel. I remember. I think the only time I've had the Heritage Barrel prior to right now is when we did it at your house. I don't know, 3, 4, 5 months ago.
Yeah,
And it was good, but it didn't blow my mind. And then we followed it up with like the 135th Four Roses and Wild Turkey Beacon and
right.
stuff. So, but going to this from the 10, it is so sweet. I mean, it is so sugary, and it's 8 years old
So
too.
yeah, like I said, this is 8 years old. So honestly, dude, this is which I know it's the same mash bill and everything, but this is just Jack 10 dialed up a little bit. This is just a more potent Jack 10.
I'm going to disagree with you. The Jack 10 does not have the sweetness on it. Like the Jack 10 is much more funky, slightly warm wood, warm oak. This is much, much sweeter on the nose.
I'm
I
not
think I
getting it
want
yet. I'm not getting it yet. Maybe I need to take a sip because I'm not getting the like I'm getting the sweet, but I'm not getting the extra sweet that you're saying yet.
to. For me, it is. It is. I mean, it like punches me in the nose as soon as
Hang
I
on.
put my nose up to it.
I will say, like I said, everything is more potent. Like everything that I had in Jack Tan, it's just more of it. Like there's more oak, there's more char, there's more sweet. But I'm not getting the like, hey, the sweetness is punching me in the face yet.
Um, the I think the toastiness on it significantly dials down the funk. I think the funk is dialed, or the sweet sour mash is dialed down, and the
Hmm.
sweetness is dialed up quite a bit.
So the mouthfeel on it is much thicker. There's a much more oily, heavy, and there's that sweet. There's that sweet coming through after the palate. This is
For
good.
for
This is
only 3 proof points different,
this is
it's
really good.
it's significantly more flavorful. I think the Jack 10 was so easy and just balanced, and this is really giving you much more oomph.
Mm. There's something specific I'm getting, and that's where I was getting the first note. I'm trying to find this. Hang on. What is that?
Let me
So
clear it out real
see,
quick.
I I think that I'm getting more of that Tennessee note. Um, this is more specifically Tennessee whiskey to me than the Jack Ten was. You're fine, Derek. You don't got it. You're all good. I like that a lot. I never thought I would be a Tennessee whiskey fan, and I feel like it makes me
Well,
feel like a little country bumpkin that doesn't know anything because I like Tennessee whiskey, you know. But
well, I mean, so you got Old Dominic, phenomenal brand, and you got Jack, phenomenal brand, right? And I know we talked about TDG a little bit, but I think that's because most people source from Dickel. People haven't really experienced the Tennessee Distilling Group yet, or don't realize it. And I actually might pull out some Noble towards the end of it. That's
is
Mike Rowe's brand.
did you confirm that's TDG?
Uh, I didn't confirm it. I saw it. Somebody said it somewhere at one point. Actually, it says bottle. Well, it says bottled by. Yeah, this is one of those brands that literally tells you nothing because
Right.
now I will say this on the laser code, it says TD and then a bunch of numbers. So Tennessee Distilling, maybe.
Could be.
Um,
So for people that don't know, so TDG, I mean, they're not on the scale of Bardstown or MGP, but they are becoming kind of who you go to source Tennessee whiskey now. Um, so you can't source from Jack. Um, Most other Tennessee distilleries are going to be relatively small, besides Uncle Nearest um, and George Dickel. So George Dickel sources. I don't think Uncle Nearest sources, especially now that they're selling the barrels that they had collateral against. So they probably don't have enough to
well,
do that with. But
you know what? But they're selling the barrels, so maybe people are sourcing from them.
maybe they are. I don't. If you guys know of anyone that is sourcing from them, let us know. But TDG is so similar to Jack Daniels for me. They're pretty close geographically, and just the profile, the palette, the note. It's all really similar. Um, but I said to say so. Used to George Dick was pretty much the only place you could go to get Tennessee whiskey, but now TDG is changing that. So now you can get, and they're getting older now too. I mean, I think they have 8, 9, maybe 10-year-old whiskey available. Now I don't know if they're sourcing those, but they're making some good stuff. So at the end, we might pull out. I have a TDG bottle as well that I'll pull out that I think is phenomenal, and it's only 5 years old. So that syrupy sweetness is there, but there is something else infused with this, and I'm trying to figure out what it is. And I almost want to call it like a I don't know if it's just because it's in my mind from the last one, but I want to call it like a mocha coffee, like a mocha coffee note, but with some
Okay.
really sweet molasses syrup in it.
Yeah. No, I think you're right. I think the sweetness that I'm getting is molasses. It's not syrup or not maple syrup. It's molasses.
Yeah, it's a very dark. But okay, so when I say molasses, sometimes I'll get a really pungent sweet note that is almost because molasses almost smells like alcoholic on its own, like really potent, sweet, pure molasses. And that's what I get. This is a boozy sweet smell. Obviously, it's alcoholic, but a lot of bourbons you won't get that alcohol smell with the sweet. You'll just get that sweet, like a caramel or a
Yeah.
toffee. But I get the boozy note with the sweetness on this, and so I think a coffee molasses is a good
I think
explanation.
so. I'm gonna go to your mocha note. I think if you put cocoa powder with molasses, I think that might be what you get.
Yeah, and unsweetened cocoa powder, like
Yeah.
just cocoa powder, not
This is
chocolate.
not as sweet as we're sitting with it. Obviously, like we talked about how things can affect each other. Your drink before and after, and going from the tin to this, with the tin being so like kind of balanced, um, it was extremely sweet when I first moved to it, but it has subdued a little bit more because molasses is not like crazy sweet. It's not sugar, right? It's the separation from the sugar, right? So like
Right.
brown sugar is white sugar plus molasses. um, it has subdued, but it's yeah, molasses and cocoa powder is kind of where I'm at on that.
So I'm going to go the opposite direction. Not to negate what you said, because that's I'm still getting all those same notes we were just talking about, but it is getting sweeter for me.
Mm.
But the coffee note is growing. That mocha coffee note is growing as well. This is freaking good. This is $80, 85
I
bucks.
don't even think it's 80. I think it's 60 or 70 MSRP. Maybe I think it's 70. Most of the Jack bottles come out are 70, other than the the shelfers. Which this is supposed to be a shelfer. Like this
Oh
will
yeah, it
be
is.
available just like the barrel strengths once
Yep.
people stop like stripping them off the shelves.
Right.
The secondary market at the very beginning started at 130, 130 to 150, and it is down to 100 now, very, very easily. So hopefully, and I've seen them, I think 3 times now. I got yours, mine, and then I got another one for Elikai. Um, but they're going to be available very, very shortly.
They are here. So I just went back out recently. Red Carpet and Gallatin's got them. They're deep. They're 4 or 5 deep on the shelf.
Good, good. And I think a lot of stuff is heading that way. So um, being in Texas, secondary market's massive. Other than California, I think Texas has the largest whiskey market in the country. And for so long, I remember when I first got into whiskey 5 or 6 years ago. Stags would be 300. Weller 12s were 300 on the secondary. Full proofs were 300 ish, stuff like that. And I think this is mm, you're seeing it happen faster with the Buffalo Trace products because they were so overhyped. But stuff has gone in like half the value secondary wise. You can get stags from 130 to 150 now almost any year. Weller 12 is down to 120. Old Weller Antiques holding at 100. Full proofs are 150 to 175. Like things are coming down significantly. And so, that's a good thing for your people that actually like whiskey and want to drink it and not just, put it on the shelf or whatever.
Right.
But so Blue Label is going to be available pretty soon. Obviously the 10, 12, and 14, since they're pretty much annual releases. Obviously, they're going to be much harder to get. But honestly, like if you look at the Blue Label, it's 8 years old. The tasters are 9 years old.
Right.
They've ramped up production so much
Yep.
that there's going to be so much whiskey available that these 10, 12, 14-year-old age statements on a lot of these brands, they're just going to be available because there's just so much whiskey now.
Yep.
And like, so we've seen recently Jim Beam shut down one of his distilling plants because there's such a surplus on the market now. And I just read recently that MGP is facing a lawsuit by its shareholders because they artificially inflated demand for their barrels. And like, it's just there's just so much out there. And Dan and Sean from the Bourbon Junkies have talked about this, how when they first started trying to source for Evernorth, they couldn't find barrels and everything was so expensive. But now it's so flooded that they can get almost anything they want for relatively cheap.
Yeah.
Okay, so we should probably give this a ranking. Heritage Barrel, the mouthfeel on it is significantly better than 10, honestly.
This is just 10 ramped up with extra sweetness.
I don't think you can call it the 10. I think they are definitely different profiles. I think it is significantly sweeter. I don't want to say it's better. It's different. It's very different, in my opinion.
Okay.
I would probably go a little higher, maybe. I might go 77.
So, and this is just how I do things all the time, but I'm going to continue to back down my Jack 10 score. I'm going to go back with you on 75, and I'm going to give this an 80.
Okay.
That is a great drink, and I think that holds up against other things and other flights.
I think the Heritage would be more likely to fit into a normal like bourbon flight. I think the 10 has more Jack profile, and I think the Heritage Barrel has the slightly more bourbon-esque only because of the added sweetness. But it's still definitely Tennessee without a doubt.
Yeah. So for me, Jack 10, 75, Toasted 80, and now we're headed to Jack 12 batch.
Yeah, this is going to be. I've had this one time before. With I think I was actually doing it on my own, and I put it up against all the different Woodford batch proofs.
Dude.
But this is just so good, dude. Like the batch 2 for me was very, very disappointing. If you're a huge wood fan, if you love barrel influence on it, like very, very woody, and it's going to give you what you want. But the 3, man, it's just all of the Brown Foreman things come through on that one.
So what I'm seeing is all the sweet notes that I'm getting with the Jack products, they have a boozy note with them. And again, we talked about this earlier, like obviously there's alcohol in it, but there's a specific boozy sweetness to all the sweet notes in this.
Yeah.
So that boozy banana note is really coming through right now.
And a lot of times I describe it as like Banana Fosters, but like actually cooked with alcohol,
right?
Not just like the stuff you make at home, but like a high end restaurant, how they like put the alcohol in there and like actually set it on fire.
I mean, 100%.
The burnt caramels and the banana.
And this is why I've liked Tennessee whiskey and specifically Jack Daniel's so much recently, is because of things like this. Like that is just peak. That is so good, and it's so potent. It's so easy and approachable and pleasant. I love it.
I could smell this all day long,
yes.
dude.
This is something you pour a few ounces of and you just chill with it and just swirl it and look at it and nose it and nose it and nose it.
This is it's definitely on the sweeter end, like, and a lot of people might describe it as a dessert whiskey. Definitely on the nose. I'll go to the palate here and kind of make sure it carries over.
Dude, you know what? And it might not hold up next to it because they do so heavy finishing, but the Good Times banana split that we had, this reminds me of that. Like this almost
Yeah.
it almost tastes like it was finished in caramel bananas
Yeah, you can, but so
or smells,
obviously we
almost
talked
smells.
about good times and how heavily they finish things. There's no regulation. I bet you there is a butt ton of vanilla and chocolate in that bottle or in the
Oh
barrel that
yeah,
they used. There was probably tons of stuff left over because that tastes like it's flavored whiskey, and realistically,
yeah,
it kinda is, right?
kind of is. But it's cool because it's real flavored whiskey. You're not going to get
Yeah,
artificial chemicals and colorings and flavoring. It's
yeah.
there's nothing
Real
wrong with it.
vanilla, real chocolate,
Yeah,
and then banana brandy. That's what it was. Banana brandy is what the
yeah,
so there's there was probably let's call it a quarter barrel of banana brandy left when they poured that whiskey in there.
probably.
And that I'm telling you right now, I've got to increase my good times collection for when I'm really really wanting some sweet stuff.
Yeah,
But if you're wanting something more subtle, obviously this is going to be extremely hard to get. But I think I saw it for 275 or two. I think 250 275 today. Someone posted batch three on secondary locally. So that's the
man.
price of a normal LE, minus tax. So
I'm gonna need to get some. Which I can start with the Old Dominic products, but I need to get some Tennessee whiskey into the Gibbon Barrel. Um,
yeah, Old Dominic 8 I think is your first go to. That Old Dominic
yeah,
8 is phenomenal.
I haven't seen it here
Um,
yet, um,
really,
but yeah,
I got that bottle in Memphis. Now I guess Old Dominic is
it's
right
in Memphis.
outside
Yeah.
Memphis. So
Speaking of which, I didn't tell you about this last night. I had a group come in from Dothan last night. They graduated from Northview in '05.
you know that Northview doesn't exist anymore.
No, I did not.
Well, at least I don't know if it's still called Northview or not. I'm pretty sure it might actually still be called Northview, but obviously there was Dothan High and Northview. They've combined the two schools into one big school.
It's got to be like a 10A school,
Yeah, I don't
which
know. I
doesn't
don't know
exist,
the
but like,
I don't know the exact logistics of it because I haven't been home since it happened. But they have one mascot. It's one school. I think they maybe just use the Dothan High for like some auxiliary stuff or something like that.
I wonder if
But
that
yeah,
was to was there like a bunch of rival like crime rivalry? Like, do you think that was what it was about?
I don't. I highly doubt that there was that intense. Obviously, it was a very heavy rivalry, but I don't think it was
Why
that
would you do that?
crazy.
That's a nightmare. They were
Funding.
both 5A schools, right?
I don't know. I have no idea, dude. I didn't pay attention to that stuff back then. But maybe it was a funding issue. Maybe it's just easier to do funding to bring because Dothan High was poor, more poor, more. Um, so maybe they combined them to increase the overall funding and quality of both schools
Huh.
because Northview was the richer
Right.
side or whatever, and they called it Dirty High for a reason. Dothan High. So,
Dude, I
but
didn't realize how poor South Alabama was until I moved away and came back. Like
yeah,
that, that's like Southern Alabama, Mississippi, Georgia, Northern Florida.
Mississippi is significantly worse than.
It is, but I'm just saying, like that deep, deep South. Like you don't realize how rough it is down there until you. And Dothan was kind of a nicer spot too, but
Yeah,
that's home for
wow.
me, dude. That's just that's
the
eh,
the fullness of the mouthfeel is definitely cranked up on the 12. I don't feel like it's quite as punchy as the Heritage Barrel, spiky maybe, but it's definitely very full, very spiceful, very sweet. Um, like it's got everything you want. It's got the age, it's got the oak, it's got the
yeah.
sweetness, it's got the mouthfeel. The batch three is just so good.
It's very
And I
good.
haven't had the batch one, but batch one was really good. Batch two is disappointing. And from everybody I've heard, batch three brought it back, and I can't
Yeah,
disagree with it.
yeah.
Oh, man.
So, have you noticed this? I was actually talking with somebody at NBC about this last night, and I've talked about it a few times. I don't know why. The only thing I can think of is the charcoal filtration, but Tennessee whiskey. proof for proof is hotter. It has more bite and more kick than other whiskeys. Do you agree with that?
I actually feel like it's the opposite
You think
because
so?
yeah, so because they do the extra filtration step, right? That's why it mellows it out, right? Like
Right.
now,
But that's more of a flavor thing. It's mellowing the flavor.
yeah,
So you're filtering out tannins, fatty acids, the more robustness, so it makes it more approachable for a 80 proof. Hey, I want to get drunk, or I want to throw a cube in 2 ounces and go to bed. Um, Obviously and that's why I don't like Jack Seven and Gentleman Jack, because it's low proof, there's no flavor, there's no age, but older Tennessee whiskey is phenomenal. But the only thing I can think of is that it doesn't make sense when I say it out loud, but like the filtration takes away some of the flavor, so you have a more potent alcohol um, nose and taste.
hmm
Except for, I mean, the barrel's adding so much back to it. So I don't know, but I feel like, and I've had multiple people come in and say this, that they feel like Tennessee whiskey um, just kicks harder, proof for proof, than other whiskeys do.
well,
Because in the
so
tasting we do in the back, it's all cask strength stuff. Everything is like 114, 115,
yeah,
116, and everyone's like they love it. It's a great drink. They always love the Tennessee whiskey we have, but it's like, damn, they always like, oh my gosh, that's crazy.
so we're at what 107 right now with the 12.
I believe so,
Yeah,
yeah.
107.
And I'm still
I
getting a good bite on that.
it does have it definitely like, and I kind of was saying this about the mouth, right? It definitely feels full. I'm wondering if that's why part of the reason maybe the banana note is so strong. I can't
Hmm.
remember what ester the banana note what the banana note comes from,
Right,
but maybe because they strip so much out from the mellowing process, maybe that's why that note is able to come through so well on the Jack products.
right.
um, I I don't know, man, but I tell you what, it's so it is so good. Let me do something real quick because
So go ahead. Go ahead.
I had this 2024 birthday bourbon the other day. It's also 107, and it was very banana forward as well. Oh, that's drastically different.
I'm excited to drink that, by the way.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be phenomenal. But this is a more of a confectioner sugar, like a sugary sweetness,
Yeah.
um,
So
than the Jack.
I wanted to hit on something, and we were talking about the good times. So people are always asking like, so how do they get that flavor in there? How do you get this note and that note? And how do you know? And so we know what molecules produce certain aromas, right? Like we
Hmm.
know what molecule to put in a banana Laffy Taffy to make it banana flavor.
Yeah.
Same thing with the strawberry and the cherry. Like we know what that is. A lot of those are found in, well, they're all found in nature, right? But and you can artificially create some of them, but a lot of these notes are found in nature and they're found in wood, right? So when you heat the barrel to certain temperatures, different lactones will present themselves and then impart themselves onto the whiskey, right? So
Yeah.
before we were able to, very fine tunely understand these things, the master distillers were just doing it based on experience, right? They just knew that if you did this, this happened, right? But we're so I might say smarter, but it's so more technologically advanced now that
Yeah.
we can fine tune that and create it. So the amount of influence that we are doing on the barrels now is unbelievable. Like it's not just charring barrels anymore. There's such a fine tuned process of what they're doing to the barrels, to specific woods, um, temperatures, time with the char to create these profiles, right? So that's how you get these certain notes in certain whiskeys, and that's why certain distilleries or certain brands will carry the same notes because they have the same either barrel making process, or obviously there's things in the
Yep.
yeast, and there's a million and one different reasons of why a distiller would have the same thing. But the barrel is so important to that. And what's cool is that people often get a banana note on Brown Forman products, and one of the biggest reasons is that they used to own their own cooperage. So they were making all their barrels relatively the same for Woodford, Jack Daniels, and Brown
Mhm.
Old Forester, right? So that's why that note carries through. Obviously, again, yeast strains fall into that too. But I just thought that was really
Yeah.
cool. I like to explain that to people a lot, that you can produce those notes based on temperature of the wood.
Yeah, and obviously we know a lot more now, but um, it's also still an art, right? Like, yeah, maybe we know why the things happen, but generally speaking, especially with these legacy distilleries, they're doing the same thing that they've always done, right? Now, obviously, with the more craft stuff, people continue to try to reinvent the wheel, right? Like they
Right.
try pressurized aging, so they cut a bunch of wood chips up and they char them and they throw them in a big pot and pressurize it to rapidly age them. But you can't rush that kind of stuff, right?
Mm-mm.
It
Mm-mm.
because when you're rushing that aging, you also force a bunch of the tannins in, or you don't take the charcoal doesn't have time to filter out that spikiness and that youthfulness, so it still makes a poor whiskey, right?
Right.
Now, obviously, different environments like Texas, for example, you can have a really good whiskey that's 2 to 4 years old, but that's just because the wood and the whiskey are interacting, and the processes have to be different. You can't treat a Texas whiskey the way you do a Tennessee whiskey. If you try to use that process down here, you're going to get some really, really bitter stuff.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it's still definitely an art, and we definitely know what causes things more, but you still can't rush it, and you still can't change the way that whiskey is made,
Right.
and that's part of the reason that I'm super excited about our next flight, the world whiskey, or excuse me, the history of whiskey,
Yeah.
because even though you're putting the same, you're putting ethanol into a barrel and you're aging it, the grain, the time, the environment, the how many times the barrel, so many tiny little things can affect the profile,
Yeah.
and that's why no two whiskeys are the same.
Yeah. And um I'm always a big believer in do it the way it's always been done, but perfect it. Right. Like there's
Yep.
always, perfecting your craft, becoming better, but sometimes you can be too cute. So, for example, like when you think about football and stuff, like how advanced the game has become. And sometimes you just need to throw a slant to your best player. Like sometimes it's really just that simple, and just do the
Yep.
things that you're supposed to do. And if you can make things better, make things better, but don't get so cute that you lose track of the integrity of the product.
Yeah.
And that's what I think Jack Daniels has held true to, is that they did the same thing for 150 years, and the only thing they're changing now is, you know what? We're just going to give our best stuff now. Now we're just going to do higher
Hmm.
proof, higher age. They're not doing any crazy experiments or crazy blending or anything. They're just making good shit and putting it in a bottle instead of just watering everything down and
Yep.
trying to become drunk whiskey. Because I don't know if people know this or not. We've talked about this, but low shelf, the bottom shelf liquor is on the decline. Jack Seven, Jim Beam White Label, it's not selling like it was. It's declining. Connoisseur whiskey
Yep.
is still on the uprise. So,
Yep.
and distilleries are taking note of this. Like again, Jack Number Seven is always going to be the bottle that pulls the Jack Daniels train. That's never going to change, right? But and they're not making as much money off of Jack 10 and 12 and 14 as they are Jack 7. But there's a entire new market out there. I get groups of people in their young 20s coming in the distillery to do tastings all the time. That didn't happen 10 years ago, 15 years ago. It didn't exist.
Yeah, and people in general, like there's a much lower percentage of the population that's drinking now. A lot of Gen Z has turned away from alcohol,
Yeah.
which honestly, it's a poison, right? So I totally understand that. But the like you said, the whiskey enthusiast is what really is kind of driving the whiskey market now, and a lot
Hmm.
of these legacy distilleries are finally realizing that. Unfortunately, a lot of them are taking advantage. And as much as I love turkey, it really frustrates me that every single bottle they release now is limited. Master's Keeps,
Mhm.
15, Single Rick. They're all $300 a bottle. And it's like, man,
Yeah.
like Jack's best bottle, 14. Well, we'll determine if it's his best, right? But their most expensive bottle is 150. Coy Hill, Tanyard Hill, they're still 70 or $80. They're $80, dude.
Yeah.
Like, luckily,
Well,
I'm
that's what
lucky to
happens when you're
be.
owned. That's what happens when you're no longer family owned. It happens
Well,
when
that's
you're owned
true.
by
They
a
did turn
massive
over. They did turn
corporation.
over control recently, and so
I
that's
mean,
what happened.
same thing.
That's
Beam
why.
and Makers.
Yeah,
Right. Same. It's the same shit.
I'm really waiting for. So Makers obviously they 2023 was the first year for cellar aged, but they were stuck so hard on, hey, Makers, we're wheat whiskey and we are wood finished, and that is it, right? And people were begging them for years. I think Fred Minnick said that he brought it up like a decade ago that they need to release something age stated, and they finally released it, and everybody loved it. Now
Yeah.
24 was a bad year, but 25 they brought it back, and it was another good year. I'm really excited to see what they do next.
Yeah.
Because well, I guess Star Hill Farms was maybe another version of a limited release for them, but which I haven't
Yeah.
gotten to try yet. But um, yeah, let's rank this 12. We never gave it a score.
Dude.
Also, we
I'm
should write
gonna
this
go.
down
I'm
so
gonna
that we
go.
can
I'm
review it
gonna
at
go
the end.
5 higher. I'm gonna go 5 higher. I'm gonna give it 85.
85. So I went 75, 77. I think that there's a huge step up to the 12. Um, I'm trying to stay relatively, close to what I normally rank. I'm going to definitely go high 80s. I think 87 is good. It's a huge jump up from the Heritage Barrel. Um, you know what? No, I'm gonna go 80. It's so good. I'm gonna go 88. I'm gonna give it an 88. I always try to think of ADHD whiskey scale, and it's definitely not. It's close to some of the best whiskey I've ever had, but it's definitely not some of the best whiskey I've ever had.
Yeah.
Um, we've had at this point we've had easily over 1,000 different whiskeys.
Oh
So
yeah.
I'm gonna go 88. Yeah, I like 88 for that, and we should probably write this down so we don't forget by the end of this because I know we're gonna be a little bit
Yeah.
toasty by the
So,
by the
dude, I'm
end.
already on this 9 year, and this is different, but it is phenomenal.
You know
Absolutely.
what? I nosed it once already, and because I thought the 12 was super sweet, but I feel like the higher we go, the sweeter these things are getting.
So this is more of a toasty sweet for me.
It is very toasty, yeah. Because if I go
It's
back to the 12 nose after that, it it shows me more of the Jack Funk.
yeah, yeah.
Like it's definitely still sweet, it's definitely still banana, but yeah, I definitely toasted sweet. Like
Ooh,
let's
it's
see
like a
what's a
toasted hickory marshmallow, a little bit toffee, like a very light golden toffee. Man,
what
that
did you real quick? What was your scores for the first three?
75, 80, 85, 86. I'll give it an 86.
75, 80, and 86.
Yeah.
All right.
We're
What did
killing,
I go?
we're
I went.
killing these views right now.
Yeah,
I
I
love,
know,
love
right?
that we had 20 views in 30 seconds when we we're doing the test run, and
Yeah,
we got
I don't know what happened. I don't know where everybody's at. Um, that's all right. Hopefully, people catch it on the back end.
yeah,
So this is what was this again? The sweet mash. So the sweet mash taster, you find this in Tennessee,
yeah.
mostly Tennessee, unless you
This
have
is 9 years
somebody.
old. 9 years old. 117 proof. It's not a single barrel. But yeah, sweet mash as opposed to sour mash. So we'll go over what that means if you don't know. So sour mash is going to be whenever you're using a pot still. You keep a little bit of the actual solid mash in the next batch. They've always done that for. They've always done that for pH balance purposes. So it does change the flavor a little bit. It's traditional, but it kept things sanitary. Before we had the equipment to make things totally sanitary, almost 100%. So you've seen sweet mash come on a little bit more recently because we can really cleanse things a lot better. Wilderness Trail and Peerless are two brands that are strictly sweet mash, and they're phenomenal. So when you see the word sweet or sour mash, don't automatically think this one's here, this one's a sour. That's not what that means. It just means is it a fresh, totally clean pot still every time, or do they use some of the previous mash?
Yes.
Or not distillate mash. Like the physical porridge that they put into the pot.
So
do they use that?
Sour mash uses some of the last mash. Sweet mash, completely brand new batch with nothing held over.
Yeah. I gotta grab a charger real quick.
All right. Now, so we're jumping from the 12 was 107 proof. The taster is 117. So we're starting to get into that, cash strength range. Oh man. Dude, I like this better than the 12. Michael, I might have to get. How many of these did you buy for me? Did you buy 3 of these for me?
Yes.
I might have to get you.
You have 2, I have 2 here, and one is you have 1.
The one open, yeah. So these are 50 ducks, 50 bucks, 50 ducks, 50 bucks. So think about it being, and they're 375. So it's $100 for a 750 essentially.
Yeah.
And man, is that worth it? Like once you hit $100, a lot of times your we call it your value per dollar is going to go down quite a bit. And man, at $100 for 750 equivalent, this smells so good. It's definitely much more on the sugary sweetness than the like Banana Foster's caramel type.
Yeah.
Oh man, I might like this better than 12, Michael.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a different profile for me, but it's really really good.
I feel like it's closer to a typical bourbon, right? Obviously, the Jack's been pretty Tennessee obvious this whole time.
Yeah.
But on the palate, you can definitely still pick up the Jack, like the Tennessee.
Right.
But it does give you more sugary, maybe like a confectioner sugar, like a powdered sugar.
Yeah, so it's not.
Mm.
I would call it brown sugar.
Brown sugar. Yeah, Leah, it could be that the number one playoff game right now is going on, which could be pulling people away from watching YouTube right now, obviously. But hopefully people come back and rewatch the live later on. Michael, we got to make sure we got to like add tags for where we're doing each different one and the scoring for them. Yeah, this is super sugar sweet. The oak is more present too.
That boozy sweetness is still there. Like that has been consistent.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
Like.
Oh wow.
What blows my mind is they're just pumping these out, dude. They're just pumping these phenomenal whiskeys out.
I'm wondering what this is going to be because there's no way this doesn't make it to an actual bottle. So I'm wondering if it's literally just going to be marketed as like Jack Sweet Mash. and for people that don't understand what we're talking about, these Tennessee tasters, they're Tennessee and distillery exclusives. Um, oh, where are we at here? But they're test products. So before the let's see, here's here before, so this is the Jack Daniel's twice barreled rye. And this came out in 2023. But before they did that, they released this Jack Taster of the twice barreled rye whiskey. So it's straight rye whiskey finished in high toast oak barrels. So they released this to see if the market liked the product. And then once they realized that the product was very good and people received it, they made it into an actual bottle, which was the twice barreled rye. So with the quality of this sweet mash, I have no doubt that it's going to end up being a square bottle at some point, because it's phenomenal. 117 is a really great proof.
Phenomenal. That's great.
That's oh man,
So,
like it. That's sweet
something
oak.
I just read on the bottle. These are Buzzard Roost.
Buzzard roost, as in like the figurative buzzard
Top
roost.
floors. These are the top floors. Also, do you get pecan on this, or like a dusty, earthy? Not taking away from the sweetness, but
you know the nuts at the fair in those little paper cones, those little candied nuts.
Yes.
That's exactly what that is. Because that's when you're at the fair, you can smell that a mile away.
Yep. Shout out to the
Oh yeah.
Also, I told Tiffany to give her a shout out. Today's her birthday.
Oh yeah. Happy birthday, Tiffany. It'd be cool if she was here with us right now.
Well, she can't. She had to be either with you or with me. Oh, you mean like on camera?
Yeah, I'm talking about in the channel. Not like here. I mean, that'd be cool too, obviously.
I'm not gonna invite her. I think.
Didn't Stephanie and Tiffany both said they were going to show up?
They said they would get on. They would. I got to figure that out too. We need to have like guests.
Yeah. So
have you ever seen Peyton Manning and Eli on Monday Night Football? Their thing.
Yeah.
Where they bring on guests. We need to do that. Like every 15 minutes, have a little guest or something.
Yeah, when we do the, I'm going to give a shout out, obviously, to Eric Merriquin. He helps me with a lot of these samples that I can't get. The hyper limited, video we do with a lot of allocations. He helped me out with a lot of those samples. Maybe we can have him on one day if he's willing to do it. He's what I would call one of the whiskey barons of San Antonio.
Yeah.
I can get Justin on here too if I let him know in advance. He'd love to be on.
Oh, I'm sure he's got plenty of stories and like really cool stuff to talk about. Sure.
Got everything that we're drinking anyways. So
Michael, I'm telling you right now, I think this is better than the 12. And
it's hard for me because I think they're different. I think they're different drinks.
They are. They're very different. This is much more sugary and candied nuts, like the fair candied nuts, as opposed to the 12, which is a much like Banana Foster's boozy sweet oak. This does have sweet oak on it too, but I think this is more my profile.
I will say the mouthfeel on the Jack 12 is better. Not that this is not good. This is dry. This is a little drier, and I think that might have to do with the Buzzard Roost. Like I get a little bit of a tongue pucker.
I don't want to call it dry. I understand what you're saying. It is high. It's 10 points. It's 10 proof points higher, and it does have a hint of just a tiny bit of what I'm getting. The drying aspect of it, but that might be coming from the proof. Michael, that is phenomenal. I'm going to have you pick up at least 2 to 3 more of these for me. I'll probably give one to Eric just so he can have it because he won't have access to it. Because he helps me out a lot. But man, that is phenomenal.
It's so good.
So big thank you to I can almost bet my life they're not watching this right now, but gosh, this was 4 or 5 months ago. I was doing a flight at NBC, and this guy they had just come. Him and his wife had just come from Jack Daniels, and they bought like a case of these, and he tipped me in a bottle. So I didn't even know these were out until he gave me one of those, and then it sat on my shelf for a while because I don't put these kind of bottles in my cabinet. So I kind of put it back in my closet for a while, forgot about it until a couple months ago, and I was like, damn, that's good. And I told Steven about it, and he asked me to get him some. So big thank you to them because I wouldn't have known about these otherwise.
Bro, you really got to start like getting people's contacts and names and writing it down, man.
I know. Well, a lot of times when stuff like that happens, we'll communicate, and they will right there follow me on YouTube. I'm like, hey, like reach out to me and anything you want to do, or if you're coming back through towns, things like that. No one's done that so far, but yeah, I need to start.
Yeah.
Their
People, I mean, people got stuff going on. People got lives, so it's always good to exchange information so that you can reach out to, because But also, in case you guys don't know this, my brother, he works at Nashville Barrel Company, so he does a lot of tastings on the daily, meets a lot of people in the whiskey world. So he lives right outside Nashville. I am in San Antonio, Texas, which is why I'm able to get all this phenomenal whiskey, because Texas has a phenomenal whiskey market, and I make really irresponsible financial decisions. But so we kind of see two different aspects of the whiskey world, right? Being in Kentucky and Tennessee, a lot of the allocated stuff, for some reason, it doesn't go there. It goes everywhere else in the country, and it's ridiculously hard to get in Kentucky and Tennessee unless you're at the distillery. Or
if you know somebody, this stuff is here, but it is behind the shelf, behind the counter, or under the counter, or in a back room, and you can't get it unless you're buddies.
Yeah. So, and a lot of like a lot of non-controlled states or family-owned businesses are like that. Luckily, in Texas, there's a chain called Specs, and they have a phenomenal points program. So if you make a lot of really irresponsible decisions, you get access to a lot of high-end bottles. I think in the last, it's allocation season, right? November, December, January, kind of like when all of the crazy stuff comes out. And this year I was able to get Van Winkle 13-year rye. I got a WLW, the latest E.H. Taylor barrel proof, Old Forester birthday bourbon. I had an opportunity to get Heaven Hill. Oh gosh, what was it? 19-year or 17-year, I think, and I missed the email, so I didn't get it. And then like 4 or 5 other like mid-tier allocated bottles that just because the point system for Specs is phenomenal. So that's one reason why I get a lot of access to a lot of really good stuff. But
so Stevie, do you want? I know that's not your whole collection, but I tell people about you all the time. Do you want to give like a quick little one-over of your cabinet?
Sure, I can talk about it a little bit. So the way I like to put my stuff on display is by brands, to some of my favorite brands. Let's back it up a little bit here. So on this side, I got, this is a Whistle Pig. So I'm not a huge Whistle Pig fan, but I do appreciate some of their stuff. And they have,
go closer. Go, just grab your phone and go. Nobody, I can't see anything.
Okay, yeah, I'll just kind of pick it up here.
Before you start, I'm gonna go ahead and say my single barrel strength, the nose is holding up, 100%.
All right, I'll pick that up in just a second. So I like to organize stuff just by brand because it kind of is prettier that way. Also, a lot of times I get kind of frustrated with people that drink whiskey or like the enthusiasts because they'll stick to one thing. Like you have the Buffalo Trace taters, as a lot of people say, but like you got to branch out. You got to try a lot of different things, because if you're just drinking one thing, you're never going to see what else is out there, and you're never going to truly grow your palate, right? But one of my favorite brands, at least aesthetically, is Lucky 7. They have a lot of good stuff. It's not everywhere yet, but they're pretty cool. Evernorth is a brand a lot of you might be familiar with. That's the Bourbon Junkies brand. and they source from mostly, they got some Barton stuff, a lot of stuff from Sagamore, MGP, and they do their own blends. And they're really truly a bourbon drinkers brand, because they're not trying to charge crazy amounts. Their limited release is $80. Their annual is $80. They just want to make the best whiskey they can, right? Um, so I love Evernorth. Obviously, I like to keep things on brand. So you got your Maker's Mark, your Beam products. What do we got down here? Woodford, Turkey stuff, Foregate. What is that down there? Old Forester. And then obviously I got Master's Keeps up on the top for aesthetics reasons. So obviously today we're doing Jack. So you got the Jack shelf, Chattanooga. So it's another good Tennessee brand, but they're very, very experimental. So there's a lot of really unique stuff that they do.
Yeah.
Still Austin. That's probably my number one brand for Texas. They do a lot of experimental stuff too, but just like they're great. So this is my Tennessee stuff here. You got Jack, Noble. So the Dragon's Milk stuff. So this is a distillery out of Michigan called New Holland.
Great. Great stuff.
Dragon's Milk bottles are great. They also do Walleye Run, and they have such a unique profile. Very, very tropical.
Tropical Skittles. That's what I get on every time.
Yeah, papaya is what I get. So you got your Georgia. So you got your 13th Colony. You got some Canadian stuff. Found North, huge Found North fan.
Yep.
And then Texas, you got Austin, Rebecca Creek, obviously Garrison Brothers. Tennessee, more Old Dominic, New Riff, that's Ohio.
New Riff,
oh,
great brand.
Yeah, New Riff. I mean, they're doing a lot of really experimental stuff too. Phenomenal. Old or Uncle Nearest, another great Tennessee brand that may not be around much longer if they don't get their stuff together.
Yeah.
All right, what else we got here? So we got Knob Creek. So unfortunately, the Knob Creek sample, Knob Creek 21, I sent Michael broke in the mail because they like to throw around glass bottles. But maybe we'll do a Knob Creek flight here soon. Blue Run, one of the prettiest bottles on the market. Whiskey, honestly, it's hit or miss. It's definitely never bad, but
yeah.
California, Redwood Empire. If you haven't had it, find something. Phenomenal brand. Heaven Hill, Four Roses, Buffalo Trace products. 2XO, another great brand. $100 a bottle. You can't go wrong with them.
Great stuff.
What's his name? He used to work for Kentucky Owl. Dickinson Deadman. He left Kentucky Owl, and they sucked ever since. And 2XO is great stuff.
Yep.
And then obviously turkey, huge turkey fan. All your Russell's products, from all the way from your normal 10-year all the way up to your 15-year release and single rick houses. Bardstown, you never know what you're going to get with them, man. Their collaborations are so crazy and different. You just never know what you're going to get. Obviously, your Fusion and your Disco series, very, very well known and very good. And then MGP's flagship brand now is Penelope. Well, their flagship is Remus, but Penelope is their second brand. What else we got down here? So another Ohio distillery, or it's right on the line. I can't remember if it's on the Ohio side or the Kentucky side, but Boone County. I've never had a bad bottle from them, and nobody knows about them. Their single barrels, both the rye and the bourbons, phenomenal. Bullet, Michter's, another really good brand that maybe not a lot of people know about. Dark Arts here, great stuff. High West, it's kind of a familiar brand. Smoke Wagon, everybody knows about them, but they do some really unique stuff. And then obviously more Penelope. That's just the kind of the main cabinets. Obviously have a couple closets with a bunch of stuff in there too. Here, don't look at my feet. Don't get too excited. Let's hit the lights here. And this is kind of my overflow here. It's just literally a bunch of random stuff from all over the place. Good times. You got to get some. Like they're not artificially flavored. They use real stuff like real vanilla, real chocolate and stuff in the barrels. But they are heavily finished, so that is huge flavor bombs. And then here soon, we got to start doing some of this Charbet. They take beer and they distill it into whiskey. And it is crazy. It tastes the one of them tastes like Blue Moon, and the other one is a stout distilled whiskey, but it's just phenomenal flavor profiles. And then, but that's kind of a quick overview. There's definitely more bottles in the garage and stuff, but at least for now, that's good enough.
Yep. Okay, so this is where we might differ a little bit. Same product, but it's a single barrel. So we're going to do this. Mine is 130.1 proof. Yours is 134.
It's 131.9, I think.
Oh, okay. Okay, so this is the cheapest bottle.
What year is yours?
Huh?
What year is yours?
23.
23. So mine's 21, but
so
wow.
this is the cheapest, quote unquote, lowest quality bottle. We almost didn't put this in there because we weren't sure if it was even going to be worth it. But this, so I always talk about on my channel about how I love sweet stuff. I'm a sweet tooth. And I do. I really, really do. What I found recently is that anytime I get a wood, earth, char note, it gives me this almost like calming feeling. Like I just like, oh, that's nice. And I just want to sit back and just like relax. And this is what this gives me. This is antique oak, char, but it's all very, very, very well balanced and blended. And it's just, this is what I would call beauty. Like this is a beautiful drink. This is what whiskey is in my mind.
It's so these can range anywhere from like the mid 120s to the high 130s.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen a hazmat one, and that's probably for a reason. But this does have a very sweet nose, but it also has a very ethanol nose. Like I don't let's see, they should say how old they are too, I think.
Yeah, it'll say bottled and dumped, or bottled and barreled.
No, they don't say when they're barreled on this one.
They don't, do they?
No.
But
So here it
online, they are typically 5 to 6 years old.
Yeah. So they're going to be a little bit more spiky ethanol-y, which is why they're cheaper, right? They're not aged super high, but honestly,
I get
they're
a char, a burnt brown sugar, like a very burnt brown sugar.
Oh,
note.
hold on. Before we go further, you didn't give a rating to the sweet mash.
Oh, 88.
88. So I went 89.9. I didn't want to put it in the 90s, but like it was so good, and I was like, I can't in good conscience put this in the 90s. But man, I wanted to get as close as possible to it. That was a phenomenal pour.
Well, here's what I'm worried about. And again, this is why we do these things. Like right now, again, I've always talked about this. Nose is important for me. This is the best nose of the night for me.
And remember, everybody, these are going to vary wildly, right? Not wildly, but they're going to vary. They're single barrels, so.
Gosh,
But it is good. And at $55, the profile and the proof on this, you are not going to get much better than a Jack single barrel proof. You're just not. And people talk about it every now and then, but I feel like it's kind of a forgotten bottle.
Banana oak on the palate. That is really hot. Really, really hot.
Yeah, it's a spicy girl.
Yeah, if that wasn't my fifth drink, that would have made me cough for sure. Which is funny because my rye single barrel strength is 133 and it drinks soft.
Without the aging like the other bottles have, it doesn't have the time to kind of mellow that
Sure.
spikiness down. Now it's not the craziest thing I've ever had. Like it's not like holy crap, like I can't drink this hot. But don't go in on this on the first drink of the night for sure.
No, dude. And again, like this is on one hand, this is really cool. On one hand, I'm like, damn it, it's not even close. It's not even close. This is my favorite one.
So I understand where you're coming from because I feel like the sweetness on this is dialed up to 11.
But
But
that dark earthy is still there.
the
It's
complexity of it, though, it's much less complex, and that's not always a bad thing. Because if you're wanting one thing, if you're wanting like sweet and spicy, this is going to do it for you. Like this is going to give you the sweetness, give you the spiciness, and it's going to give it to you for a phenomenal value. Good luck finding anything this good for $55 on the shelf any day of the week.
seriously, this might be like we always talk about value and budget. But like this might be the best value ever.
Tennessee wise, I don't think you can beat Gold Label at all.
No, not even a question. But I'm talking about, dude. I might just have a better barrel than you, but I would
No,
call this. I would call this layered. This is sweet. It is dark. It is charred oak. It's a dirt in a good way. Again, wet leaves, wet forest floor. I heard that the other day. Forest floor. Um,
I know where you're coming from with those notes, but I feel like if somebody that has only been in whiskey for like a year heard you say dirt, they would be like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
I know, but dude, to be honest, like what I always say when I'm talking about that, like fall, like when you're outside walking in the woods, fall, like the smell of like the cold, kind of muddy, like not like liquid mud, but like the cold mud with the leaves and kind of bark, like that's a good smell if you
So
like country. Like that's
I think this is the first one I've gotten this. I think the note that you're referring to, at least my bottle, is coming across as the sweet tobacco, like the thick, not chew, or
okay.
excuse me, not
Okay.
chewing tobacco, not like the snuff or the long cut. Talking about the bags, the paper bags, the sweet,
I can
big
I
chew
can I can
tobacco.
rock with that too. I can rock with that too. Um,
But it does have that high proof spikiness because it's slightly younger.
so think about this too. Think about like wet mossy bark as well. This is fall. This is the woods in the fall after it rained
With sugar on top.
with sugar on top while you're
Yeah,
smoking a cigar.
yeah. If you were smoking an oily cigar, if you're smoking an oily not wet, but like an oily cigar.
You've been chewing on it.
Actually, I don't know if you've ever had acid cigars. So acid is they dip the tips of their cigars in some kind of sugary sweetener, and
Just
that's
the
what I'm
tip.
getting.
Is it just the tip?
Just the tip is sweet,
Oh,
yes.
okay.
Um, but yeah, that's exactly what that is.
Again, we're about to drink 14 and Coy Hill, but that's a 91, bro.
I'm not putting it in the 90s.
That's a 91.
The reason why I don't want to go higher is because it does feel simpler to me. Um, and that's not really a
It's
bad thing.
simply good as shit, is what it is.
Absolutely. I'm not going to disagree with you. And again, your barrel could be slightly better than mine. So you're going, what do you say, 91?
Mm-hmm.
91. I'm going to go,
Oh gosh,
I'm going to
that
go
is so close.
87. I'm going to go 87. Now, yes, it's an 87, and I put that just below Jack 12. But Jack 12 is more expensive MSRP. You will never find it on the shelf. And if
Right.
you do find it in a store, it's going to be $250 to $400.
That's what I'm saying. That's what adds to this so much. And dude, I don't know if you remember this. You know where I got this bottle?
Where's that?
What? So you got it off a trade. Some guy was like, "I don't like
Oh,
this.
yeah.
It was
Yeah.
that and the Jack 10. He
Mhm.
took a pour out of each one. It's like,
I gave somebody a Weller 107 for 1 ounce missing out of a Jack 10, that Jack barrel strength, and I feel like I got another bottle with it.
you did.
But I got 3 bottles. I got 3 cracked bottles with a 1 ounce out of them for a Weller 107. Listen, is 107 a good whiskey? Absolutely. Is it worth more than that value? Not even close.
Oh gosh,
All right.
and I've made. I knew I liked this, but I've always made the mistake of like, this is my first or second pour of the night. I've never had it late in the night before, so I'm like, adjusted to. Holy crap, dude! Holy crap! And it's not even a store pick, dude. It's just a regular shelf release.
So
My brother-in-law
I'm
is
ab-
playing Magic in the dining room right now.
they're playing Magic.
Yeah, I played with him a lot over when we were at the cabin. Um, he's got some pretty cool
Wow,
decks. I played
what a bunch of nerds.
a bunch of nerds. I played
Yeah, I would never play Magic.
I was using a vampire deck commander.
What format? What format were you playing,
Commander?
Commander?
Yeah, and then he was using mermaids, and then
Merfolk.
merfolk, whatever. And then
What? Who was your commander for vampires? Just out of curiosity.
I don't remember, dude. I don't know it that well.
Yeah.
But Carter, Abby's fiance, was using Lord of the Rings deck, and it's all like a bunch of really weak characters, but he gets like food tokens and stuff, and then he gains life when he loses life, and it was a really good kind of combo. But
Yeah.
let's not go down this rabbit hole on this channel.
Yeah. 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 We don't do nerdy stuff. So
No, nerds are.
yeah. Not because people that drink really crazy whiskeys and talk
They
about
can hear me in the background. This is good.
it's funny. It's funny because like realistically, like we're whiskey nerds, right? Like people that do this kind of stuff are
Right.
nerds for whiskey, right? But
Everyone's got their thing. Everyone's got their thing, and some people dip into multiple categories, and I feel like I can do that pretty well, and you can too.
all right. So the 14. So we're moving on to 14. This is batch 114, obviously, because they haven't come up with the second batch yet. This is pretty dark. Shout out to Eric Mariquin. Mariquin or Mariquin. I know I'm pronouncing that probably wrong because obviously that's a Hispanic name and I can't say it that well. But one of the whiskey barons of San Antonio, super cool guy. Hooked me up with this Jack 14. Obviously, you and I both have a Jack 14, but both of us are saving it for our sons. So for those of us that don't know us very,
God forbid we be good fathers. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah. So for those of us that don't know us very well, we both have collections for our kids for when they turn 21. For my kids, I do all bottles from their birth year, and so we just had our fourth son in November, and seeing as how Jack 14 was first released in 2025, I saved that bottle as one of his bottles in his collection, and my brother also had his second son in 25, so that's his first bottle. So unfortunately, neither one of us can open our Jack 14. I am trying to get a second one here soon, but Eric Marquin hooked us up with his sample so that we could try it. And so here we go.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna kind of go back to the 12 too. I just kind of want to see nose wise.
Bro, if
Oof.
my single barrel wins this,
It's not going to. Like, don't get me wrong. It was good, but oh man, that 12 is so good. So the 14 is initially darker for me, not just color wise, but like on the nose, it's darker. So once you start,
this is what I like. I like those dark notes.
yeah, I think it's very similar to the 12. I think the sweetness is dialed down just a touch, and the darkness and the oak is dialed up. Obviously, 2 years older. That's literally how it should progress.
That is really good though. And I feel like this has a lot of layers, and we're not there yet. Like, we're gonna need to spend some time on this.
Yeah. So I think the next Brothers in Bourbon that we do is going to be best bourbons of 2025. And unfortunately, I only had enough for us to do this in the Jack flight. So unless I can acquire some more before then, this will not be in the running. Unfortunately, obviously it would be otherwise. That is
I'm struggling on this. Like I'm not getting much. I'm getting
really.
I'm getting the dark no. I need to hit the palate. I need to.
Oh man.
Okay, that
So a lot of people.
palate is hot. Obviously, it's a dry taste, but not a dry feeling necessarily.
Um.
It's really woody.
So the mouthfeel on this, I'm going to disagree with you a little bit. I don't get the dry taste as much, which I relate to more towards like a red wine. The dry taste. It does give you a little bit of drying mouthfeel. Now this is what 126.3 proof, so obviously you kind of expect that.
There is a
But
dryness,
actually,
but I don't want to say it's like my tongue sticking to my teeth. That is what I'm saying.
yeah, a little bit. It does give you a dry little bit. The Jack 14 is, and you kind of expect that, right? More oak, more proof,
Right.
but it's not. It's nowhere near like overbearing. It is very. It's still very, very. I don't want to say delicate because it's not delicate. It's got a very full mouthfeel, but it doesn't approach that line to where it's unpleasant, and it's not approaching that where you can barely tell. Um, Very dark, not sweet. It's not overly sweet because coming off of that barrel
No.
strength, which was very very sweet.
No.
This has a little bit of sweetness, but it's a lot more balanced.
So the nose, going back to the nose, I understand this is not a real thing, but a black cherry wood. So not
Black
just
cherry wood.
yeah, not just cherry wood, but like a black cherry wood.
Yeah, a darker wood. Yeah, I hear you. Like obviously this doesn't taste like furniture, but if you were to look at a piece of like antique furniture, this is a dark colored wood in your mind. A lot of times people talk about like flavors, right? What they taste, but sometimes, 'cause obviously, you're not tasting it all these flavors, but the whiskey is going to kind of bring something to your mind. It's going to bring up a memory. It's going to bring up a setting. It's going to bring up and it tastes and smells dark. It tastes age, which obviously it's 14 years old. It's going to
Right.
give you that.
Especially in Tennessee.
But
But so some of y'all didn't have very good imaginations as kids, so you
yeah,
can't
yeah.
really,
Yeah, if you're on your iPad too much, you may not be able to visualize yourself, in your grandma's house, in the attic with the old wood furniture.
and that's a good point. So what I tell people in the tastings is start big picture, right? So what season, what landscape, what memory, something like that. What does that make you think of? What does this make you think when you smell it? And then you can kind of dial in, right? But your brain needs, one or two data points to kind of latch onto, and then it can kind of paint the picture
Gotcha.
itself. And that's why sometimes drinks will be drastically different for you, especially if you're blinding them night to night, because you might like the first note you get, your brain latches onto that, and it kind of digresses, or trails down that rabbit trail. So one example of that is, and this was in the Mary Mashoff series, Devil's Tower for Redwood Empire. I drank that 3 times within a 6 month span, and the
Hmm.
notes couldn't have been farther apart every time.
And and the first time you had it, was it by itself with nothing else?
Yeah, it was by itself. Now, no, I knew what
Yeah,
it was, but I'd never had it before. So technically, that's a
right.
blind, right? And the other 2 times were blind as well. So
Well, and we talked about, so obviously the setting is going to affect it, right? But also the drinks you had before or the drinks you had after. Like, so
yeah,
I just went back to the 12 and the 10. I kept whiskey in the glasses intentionally so I can go back to them. And as you would expect, the 10, the 12, and the 14, they literally all trail down the path that you would expect them. Like they are not drastically different. They are just amplifications of the same whiskey, as they literally are, right?
Yeah.
But you can if you're lucky enough to have all three of them, you'll be able to tell and experience the journey of that whiskey from the 10 to the 12 to the 14.
This is my wife.
You know the 10.
This is Sydney.
Oh, hey Sydney, how you doing?
Yeah.
You're on
I would.
camera with three people are watching right now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Everybody.
I mean, you're basically famous at this point. You better be careful out in public.
Where's everybody?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Watching football.
They're watching the Eagles game. That's what they're doing.
So gay.
Is dinner ready? No.
Excuse me. This is a family-friendly stream.
Sorry.
Can we?
Sorry, buddy.
You can sit here, baby. Okay.
I'm about to nurse Cooper.
Okay.
We're gonna eat in like 20 minutes.
Yeah. We got 2 drinks left.
Okay.
We'll see you in an hour.
Yeah.
Let's not rush the last 2. They're the best drinks. So, like you can literally follow the journey of this whiskey. That's such a cool thing. Hopefully, you guys can go to a bar that has the 10, 12, and the 14, or you have a buddy, or you're able to get it yourself. But you can literally go through the progression. You know, the 10, light, easy, balanced, a little bit of Tennessee funk, and then you go to the 12, more vanilla, banana Fosters, slightly boozy, and then you get to the 14, and it's just like dark and age and wisdom and like.
Okay, so that last note again. When you're doing these things, don't pigeonhole yourself and put yourself in a box. He said wisdom. Like, I love that. That's a great word to put with this. And that's what I was going to say. This is more on par for me for the single barrel strength we just did. It is more of that profile, but better. It's just an intoxicating aroma and it just fills me with peace and like relaxation. And, you know, I'm at a fire on a clear, cold, crisp night. You know, no leaves on the trees. Moon is shining. Like, this is country basic, like simple times in my mind. That's what this is.
So
and it just fills my mind.
So one kind of way to think about it, right, is think about it from a sports perspective, right? You're coming out of college. It's your rookie year, your second year in the NFL. You're super strong. You're fresh. Like, you're the most athletic player. You know, the most athletic wide receiver in the NFL. That's kind of what the barrel strength kind of gives me, right? Super sweet, boozy, really good. You are the best wide receiver in the NFL, right? And then you go to the 14, and you're the 12-year vet, right? You may not be quite as fast as you used to be. You still got that athleticism, right? But you've got so much experience, so much wisdom that you're going to catch those cornerbacks. You know how to run the route perfectly to catch them off, you know, get that step on them, right? Yeah, you're not as fast as you used to be, but you got something that they don't have, and you're still able to produce because you've been there. That's the wisdom aspect of it, right?
I like that. I like that a lot. The single barrel strength had all the talent and potential in the world. The 14 is the completion of that.
Think like Randy Moss, you know, year 3 in the NFL versus, you know, Jerry Rice in his last few years.
Yeah.
He's still producing on a high level. It's just a different kind of ball, you know?
You come in and you're winning the MVPs and Player of the Year, and then into the career you're winning Super Bowls. And that's
wow.
So I definitely see why this is in everybody's whiskey of the year. And again, it was good on the first nose, but it has developed and grown drastically for me. Like, nothing changed really. It just continued to open up and open up and open up and unfold and present itself. This is something that is a slow approach. If you ever get a chance to drink this, do not rush this. Take your time. Make sure. Now, don't put pressure on yourself, because then you're gonna screw up and you're not gonna enjoy it. But, you know, make sure you don't have a bunch of food smell in your house, or, you know, if you're outside or something like that. Like, take your time with this.
It's not a beginner whiskey, right? Like, I feel like if you're just getting into the whiskey scene, or you're only a year or 2 in, it may be a little bit overwhelming for you. So save it. If you get some, maybe save it. You
Mm-hmm.
know,
Mm-hmm.
don't rush into the higher age statements, because when I first started getting into whiskey, 4 or 5 years ago, super aged stuff may not have been as good to me,
No.
right?
No.
The single barrel strength is probably a great one to have when you're in your first year, 2 or 3, and it's
add a couple drops of water if you need to. That is
yeah.
okay. Don't ice it down. Don't make it cold, but add a little bit of water if you need to.
Yeah, but it's phenomenal. I can't say anything bad about it. All right, so let's go to the number. Let's go to the scorecard here. So Jack Daniel's 14. I'm gonna broach the 90s here. I think it's complete. It's complex. It's got sweetness. It's got oakiness. It's got everything I want. Um,
This is stupid, dude. This is stupid.
I'm gonna go. I don't think it's crazy. I don't think it's the best whiskey I've ever had, but I'm gonna go 90. I'm gonna go 90. Go 91. I'm gonna go 91.
I want to say the best score I've ever given anything is a 91, and I've given that 3 or 4 times. I gave it to Found Nor. No, I gave it to Redbreast Cash Strength one time.
Okay.
I knew what it
That
was when
was
I was drinking it.
was probably a skewed. Was probably skewed on that day.
Probably. And again, don't ever trust my scale. Like I always inflate things because I get so excited about them. But I gave a 90 to Old Dominic, my store pick, and I want to say I gave a 91 to another Tennessee product, probably one of the Jack products. I want to give this a 92.
92. Okay. I think that's fair, right? It's really hard because you never want to go super high in the 90s, because it's like, if I give that score, you got to kind of leave room to grow. Now, obviously, if something completely blows you out of the water, then it is what it is. But I think
Right.
low
Okay.
90s is fair for that.
So you're right. So your scale should be consistent. However, things are going to change every single day. Like
It's hard. It's very
I feel
hard to
like
keep.
it has to reset. Like okay, today I'm giving this X, right? Because otherwise, I'm trying to think about and compare everything in the past. And do I think this is the best whiskey I've ever had in my life? I don't know. I'm not going to say no, but I'm not going to say yes. But it's damn close. So
Yeah, and palates change too, right? Like, I wouldn't expect somebody in their first year to give this a 90, right? I would expect it to be
no,
lower for them.
absolutely.
But
So with that, when you first started sending me samples, I remember you sent me that first box, Steve. I liked 10 out of the 72. Like
yeah,
they had to be super sweet. They had to be really well blended. I found out I was a big fan of blended stuff.
hmm
They had to be a little bit lower age. Actually, I didn't like the age at all. I liked like the 3 and 4 year olds. Four Roses Small Batch and Early Times Black Cat was my first. Those were my first favorites.
yeah,
Um,
that is a good one. Early Times Black Cap, if you can find them still,
and it's
make
still
sure you
good.
grab them.
And I'll tell you, it tastes different now than it did when it was my favorite.
That might be a new series we could do too. Is old label versus new label? 1920, the Old Fortune 1920, Early Times Black Cap versus
Yeah.
10 Cap. I'm sure there's some other ones that we could think
We
of.
should
Obviously, I
also
don't have
do
them right
something
now.
like, hey, our first favorites versus our current favorites.
Yeah, my first favorite bottle. Now I had like 5 bottles at the time. Was 1792 Small Batch.
Yeah.
And there was a period where I didn't like any 1792 products,
Mm-hmm.
and now they're kind of coming back into favor with me. So those are definitely worth a revisit. All right, so we're going to be moving on to Jack Daniel's Coy Hill next. This is a 2024 Coy Hill. 2024 Coy Hill 137 proof. And this was a bottle I got in San Antonio. I do have a 127 proof, I think, that I got from you in Tennessee.
Yeah.
Um,
Did you trade that one?
no, so I got two. I got two of the 137s because Leah was with me. There was limit one per customer, and my wife, my beautiful, amazing, sexy, awesome wife, was with me that day. So she was able to grab one too. And I traded that thing for like multiple Remus Repeal reserves, some old Woodford reserves, and like I got stupid value out of it because people only value allocated bottles and they don't realize how good you can have normal everyday releases. But no, I still have that 127. And honestly, you're probably going to end up with it again at some point. Because if I ever get another Coy Hill, I'm just going to trade you that one or sell that one back to you.
I'm hang on. I'm curious what a lower proof Coy Hill would be. So
Yeah,
so
I agree.
Coy Hill is only the top floor. Okay, that's not true anymore. Originally, they were only the top floor. Recently, I think the last two releases, it's just been the Coy Hill Rickhouse. But
Yeah.
originally, it was the highest floor on the highest Rickhouse. But now I think it's just the highest Rickhouse. What I was saying was, if it's a lower proof for something that's supposed to be hazmat, that means the barrel entry proof was a lot lower. So I was more excited about the 127 than I was the hazmat stuff.
Well, yeah, but I don't think that. So those were both 2024 bottles, which I think is the year that they started doing the whole Rickhouse, right?
Right. So
yeah. So they didn't change the barrel entry proof. That was just a lower floor.
Yeah.
And honestly, a lot of times they're better. Like it's obviously every barrel is unique, right? But the cellar, for example, Maker's Mark cellar aged, right? They age them for 6 to 8 years, I think, and they move them in the cellar, and then they get to 11 to 12 years. And in that cellar, it's super damp, it's super cold. They're not aging quickly in there. So it's not always the highest proof, highest, floor stuff that's better. A lot of times that can be true, but it's not. It's more of a guideline than an actual rule, right?
Right.
So don't people a lot of times chase proof, and I totally understand that, but that's not a hard rule. A lot of the Old Forester single barrel strengths, they're all over the place.
Yeah.
Some of them are really, really hot.
Often than not, they've been bad for me.
Yeah, I think that's one of the most widely spread like products for good to bad. They can be phenomenal and they can be really, really bad. So don't always take proof as an indication of how good a whiskey is. Just
that is dry.
All right. So we're on Coy Hill now. For any of us that have just joined us, we're on Jack Daniel's Coy Hill. We've gone through 10,
Take that back,
10, 12, 14 Heritage Barrel toasted, sweet mash, distillery only release, and single barrel strength. We're on Coy Hill right now, and we're going to go to Tanyard Hill next.
Yeah. So I said it was really dry. And take it back. I think it's just the proof. Like my lips and my tongue actually stuck together, but then when I drank it, it was just fine. Like there was no pucker after that. But
you know what?
There's more funk on it. This is more Tennessee for me.
It's very similar to the 14. I think the 14's got a.
Do you know the age on this?
I think the bottle. I think this one has the barrel. Yeah. So barrel entry September of 13, bottling August of 24. So it is 1 month shy. It's 1 month shy of 11 years. So this is essentially Jack 10 high rickhouse or high floor high rickhouse.
Sydney is currently making fun of me for smelling my whiskey. She's smelling her wine with a mentally ill person's face.
Oh well, I feel sorry for you because my wife is just staring at me in admiration as I smell my whiskey. So
Gonna be me.
Bourbon Neanderthal. Remind me of your name. I always forget. Hang on, I gotta get this because Jen pronounced it wrong. Dan. It's Dan. Is it Dan? Am I wrong? Ron. Damn it.
bro, Dan, come on, dude.
Jen's okay, so he came in, he was doing live videos, and I think Jen called him Dan in the video, and that's what I remembered. So I told you about this guy, Steven. We had a great time. He came in at NBC, and we did 2 blends just like at the bar, and then some bachelor party came in, and he was riling them up. Bourbon Neanderthal, y'all, if y'all are into uncensored channels, he is the place to go. He's got a lot of great bottles. Does a lot of content, way more than I do.
He does some funny. He does say some funny stuff that we can't.
Funny shit, yeah.
We can't say on this family friendly stream.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
Ron, we've gone through Jack 10, Heritage Barrel Blue Label 12, the Sweet Mash Distillery only release, Single Barrel Strength, Jack 14, and we are currently on Coy Hill, this one of the San Antonio bottles.
What's the score of the Eagles game, Ron? This is really good.
Who are they playing?
I think they're playing the Rams.
No. The Rams beat Carolina, I think.
Oh, is that it?
So who is playing the Eagles? It has to be NFC.
Is it?
I can't remember.
I don't know.
San Francisco.
Let's go.
Okay.
I
16.
know
16.
you're Broncos fan. I just figured you'd had the game on.
So since where are you located? Where are you located, Ron? What region are you in?
He's in Ohio. Are you in Ohio? Oh, all of a sudden Ron gets on, our viewers go up. That's some bullshit.
Yep. There we go.
Missouri.
Okay.
And you know what? He is Missouri. He is every bit of Missouri.
So I guess who was it? Warren said that 16-10 Eagles over San Francisco. Who do I want to win that game?
What are you talking about? Who do you want to win that game?
I don't know. I don't know who I hate more, the Eagles or the San Francisco.
I don't like hate anybody, but the Eagles piss me off. Like I want to punch Nick Sirianni in the face. He just has a really punchable face.
You know what? You're right. You are right. And you know what? I like Brock Purdy, so I'm gonna go San Francisco on this one.
Look, I know there's a rivalry between Cowboys and Niners, but like I don't hate them. You know, I don't really hate any team, but the Eagles just it makes me mad that they're so disciplined and they win games that they shouldn't.
What makes me mad about the Eagles is when we play them, the games always get dirty. Like they always get like super nasty and like people start fighting and stuff, and I'm just like, it's annoying, you know. So back to the whiskey before I forget.
Coy Hill, this is good, dude.
The Coy Hill is very good, but I feel like coming off the Jack 12, which we kind of described as like wise and old and just like really nice, the Coy Hill is much more.
It's sweet.
It does have a little bit sweeter nose, but it also has more. It's more drying, obviously, from a higher floor and higher proof.
This is cherry.
Yeah.
Brown sugar cherry. This is an old fashioned.
It has a cherry. It has a medicinal cherry note for sure.
Like you would never do this, obviously, but I can't imagine what an old fashioned would taste like with this.
I just got cherry Coke.
So we said that last time, like a year ago when we drank it.
If you took cherry Coke and put it. You know those gimmicky charred wood glasses.
Yes.
If you took cherry Coke and put it in one of those charred wood glasses, that's what you get.
All right, I'm about to give you a note. It's going to send you back in time. Bottle caps.
Dude, bro, you talking about the cola bottle cap?
Yeah.
Bro, I haven't had bottle caps since I don't. Did they even make those in the 2000s?
Yeah. Okay. So Jack, for me, Jack 10 was 75. Steve,
Hang
you
on, Michael.
got it written
I
down,
got
right?
I got it all written down.
Yeah.
All right, so Jack 10, we both went 75 on Jack 10. So we also ordered these in proof order and kind of quality order. So the scores are going to kind of generally creep up as we go. Now a different order may have resulted differently, but to an extent, proof is going to have an effect on this. Jack 10, we both went 75. Jack Heritage Blue Label, I went 77. Michael went 80. So, average score went up about 3.5 points on that. Jack 12, I went 88. Michael went 86. The Jack Sweet Mash, which is the Tennessee / distillery only release, I went 89.9 just because I didn't want to broach into that 90 range. Michael went 88.
Bitch. Oh, sorry.
The Jack Daniel's single barrel strength, I went 87. Michael went 91. Keep in mind, we have different barrels.
Yeah.
So he could have a slightly better barrel than me. So average score 89 on that. So same as the Sweet Mash. And then Jack 14, I went 91. He went 92. So we just broached the 90s in the Jack 14. And then we are currently on Coy Hill. I don't know if this is going to score as well as the Jack 14 for me.
It is for me. It is for me. It's a different category.
It's different. It's very different.
It still carries a little bit of that antique oak note, but it's much sweeter and sugary. Like obviously sugary sweet, but like literally
Sydney,
sugary.
stop beating that baby so hard. Jeez Louise.
My wife is I can hold the baby for him too.
Okay, I can't walk over there.
No, don't hold him while you're drinking 137 proof whiskey.
Why?
Well, yeah, why not? You gotta learn one day.
Well, yeah, in 20 years. Now, so I'll say this. So the Jack 14 obviously has that aged oak. I feel like the Coy Hill has more towards like a Garrison Brothers oak note. Like it's more of an intense oak. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Okay,
the
so,
14 is a soft. The 14 is a softer, more like aged oak, and the Coy Hill is like a more in your face tannin oak.
what is this? Is that Aaron Clifford? Hang on. Who? White House. WH Aaron. Is this Aaron Clifford?
So Warren, yeah. So the Heritage Barrel I thought was phenomenal. When coming from the 10 to the Heritage Barrel, it really dialed up the sweetness. Going from 10 to the Blue Label. Coming back from the higher proof, more oaky stuff. Oh, that just gave me an ice cream note.
Okay, that is. Okay, so Aaron, WH Aaron, I train him. He's on the board with Giving Barrel Stephen. So Aaron, I don't know if I've ever told you this, but for everyone, the reason both of our names are Stephen. My dad's name is Stephen Craig Rankin. My brother's name is Stephen Craig Rankin II. Not super uncommon to do that, right? My mother wanted a son named after her husband and her brother. Yeah. So I became Stephen Michael Rankin. So I'm not even a third or a junior. It's a really stupid thing. The reason I go by Stephen and not Michael was because I wanted to be like my brother growing up. So I always introduced myself as Stephen, but my family calls me Michael. Really stupid story. Didn't realize how.
Well, yeah. So
dad is. I grew up.
Dad is Steve. I'm Steven, and this is Michael in our family circle.
Yeah.
So real quick, coming back from the Coy Hill to the Heritage Barrel, because Aaron just brought this up. You know when you walk into a Baskin Robbins and you smell like sweet ice cream? Go back to the Heritage Barrel. Smell it. It's Baskin Robbins. It's what you smell when you walk into the building.
Okay, so you just said that, and I'm getting pralines and cream on the dude. This Coy Hill this is my favorite of the night. This is gonna win.
What are you smelling right now? The Coy Hill?
Yeah, pralines and cream.
Okay, smell the Heritage Barrel real quick for me. Tell me you don't get an ice cream shop when you walk in. Oh, did you drink it already?
Do what?
Did you drink all of it? I've
Yeah.
left some in the bottom of my glass.
Yeah, I drank everything, bro.
No, I left some in the bottom of my glass so I can go back and smell it. So the Coy Hill, now that the ice cream notes in my head, I'm getting butter pecan ice cream.
I just said pralines and cream.
Right, but that's kind of where I that made my mind go there, right?
Oh.
Like,
Yeah.
I am not a butter pecan ice cream fan by any means because I'm not 75 years old.
You're getting there. You're getting there.
I am getting there, dude. I'm
Look. And I'll tell you what, and this takes me back to a memory when I lived with you in South Carolina. Every now and then I would go down to Sullivan's Island and you got a Coy Hill, Ron? I would go down to Sullivan's Island and there was a Baskin Robbins on the way. And every time it was always summertime and I would get like at sunset, which is beautiful on the coast, obviously. I would get a pralines and cream in a waffle bowl with a little bit of caramel sauce. And that's it. Like that's what that
It
reminds
is.
me of.
Yeah, this is some kind of a nut sweet ice cream with a waffle cone. Butter pecan. You're getting pralines and cream. I'm getting butter pecan, but it's in a waffle cone. The Coy Hill. Um, Ron, what bottle are you talking about with ice cream and pastry? Because we're obviously talking about a bunch of different ones.
This is going to win it for me, and I'm going to give it a 93 just to barely beat the 14.
No, I can't. I'm going to give the 14. I'm going to. That's hard. Those are close because they are different.
He's got Coy Hill. What's the proof on it, and what's the release, Ron?
Ron, come on in the comments. Tell me what you're drinking. Coy Hill 20.
I asked him if he was drinking Coy Hill, and he said yes.
Yeah, but then I asked him which bottle, and he said yes. So I'm lost in the sauce right now.
So he's got 2024.
This is also 2024 Coy Hill. All right. So what are we on there? Coy Hill. They're very different, honestly. The Coy Hill and the 14 are different beasts.
They are. And I tell you what, so I tell people this a lot too. So going back to the empty glass, when you smell an empty glass, I get a lot more char, like barbecue wood on the nose with the empty glass. It was much sweeter when it was in the glass,
Ooh.
which is usually backwards. Usually it becomes much sweeter after when the glass is empty, but
Michael, on the 14, I'm getting the barbecue chip note that we get sometimes. That savory barbecue glaze.
yeah. Okay, so Steven, this is a different bottle. He's got 128.4. We have 137.
Oh, he's got a low proof one.
Yeah.
The nutty note on the Coy Hill you don't get on the 14. That's where part of the drastic difference is the nuttiness on the Coy Hill. I'm gonna give it a rating real quick, and then I'm gonna use the restroom and come back. You know what? I feel I'm gonna go 90. I'm gonna go straight 90 on the Coy Hill 93.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're going up a point. I'm going down a point.
So I remember we did a wild turkey tasting back in fall. Well, this was spring. We did a wild turkey tasting back in spring, and it was everything from think we started with we had 8-year, we had 12-year, Russell's 13, 15, single rick house, WB Saffel, and I was outside. It was crisp and cool, clear night. I had a fire going. That was the best overall night tasting I've ever had in my life. This night has beat that for sure. Jack Daniel's square bottles are collectively, in my modest opinion, the best thing on the market. This is some very good stuff. And and Ron, actually, you have this bottle. I do not have any more. What would go really good at the end of this flight is that Dickel 20-year. I actually just drank the rest of that I had, but that Dickel 20-year, dude.
I think he just left, man. I think Ron said he had to go for a second.
Yeah. That's okay.
Okay, so the Coy Hill was definitely good for me. It has the nutty note. I'm not a huge fan of the nutty profile, so that's probably why it didn't do as well as a 14 for me. But so I don't think there's any more bourbons that we're gonna do, or quote unquote Tennessee whiskey / bourbons. We're gonna jump over to the Tanyard Hill now.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is gonna be drastically different. In fact, I'm gonna drink some water, clear the palate out.
Well, wait. Do you want to do single barrel strength first? Because we have the same bottle.
The rye.
Yeah. So we have that. We have Heritage Barrel, and then we have Tanyard Hill.
You know what? Yeah. So you got time?
No.
I mean, they're gonna be there all night, right?
I don't know. Sydney's gonna want me to eat dinner with them. What I could do is we could eat and then I could come back, or
I don't really want to. We could definitely do it later tonight if you want to together, but I don't know if I want to restart the live stream. So
yeah, let's shit. Let's pour. Do we have the same Heritage Barrel?
Mine's 2023.
Mine is too.
I don't think that they're single barrels.
No. All right, so we have all the same bottles.
All right, we're switched over to rye now.
Yeah, might as well.
All right, let me move some stuff out of the way here.
If she comes in here, I'll get off. But until she does,
well, just let her know we're gonna do these 3 ryes.
I'll tell you what. I'll probably just when she comes. I'll just go pray over everything, and then I'll come back and do these because I don't want to restart, to be honest.
Yeah, go talk to her real quick and let her know what's going on, and then I'll entertain your guests while you're gone.
All right.
While we're pouring.
No sexual activity.
Yes, I will keep all activity family friendly. All right here.
I'm actually more excited about this than I was the bourbons or the Tennessee whiskey.
Yeah, Jack does rye right. They just do.
So you can talk about how they're more Maryland style than.
What do you mean by that? You talking about lower rye content?
So you usually have either Barely Legal or 95.5. Jack is in the 70 range, which the only other mainstream distillery that does that I know of is Sagamore, which is Maryland, and Old Forester.
We're doing the single barrel strength store pick. Is that what you're talking about?
Correct. The 133.4 or 1 or something like that. We have the same one.
Yeah. All right. So, guys, if you're just coming in here, we have finished the Jack Daniel's Tennessee whiskey, and we are shifting gears to rye. So we're going to do the 2023 release twice barrel Jack Daniel's rye, Heritage Barrel rye, and then we're going to go into the single barrel strength rye. It's a store pick, but we have the same one. And then we are going to go into the Jack Daniel's Tanyard Hill. which is this year's release of the Coy Hill equivalent for rye. For those of you that are just joining us too, kind of to review the scores, Jack Daniel's 10 had an average score of 75. Jack Daniel's Heritage Barrel Blue Label had an average score of 78.5. Jack Daniel's 12 had a score of 87 average. The Jack Daniel's Sweet Mash, which is the distillery only / Tennessee release, had an average score of 89. The single barrel strength had an average score of 89 as well. Jack Daniel's 14 had an average score of 91.5, and the Coy Hill had an average score of 92.5.
They're already eating, so well, give me. I got 30 minutes. We'll finish it up in 30 minutes and get off. The video is going to be too long, anyways.
Yeah, never too long.
I'm really wondering how the download process is going to work. I don't know if this is even going to be possible.
No, YouTube's going to save this live, and you're going to just go in and enable public viewing of the replay.
But like, is it currently like saving? You know what I'm saying? Like downloading an hour and 35 minutes is going to be.
It's not going to be. You're not going to download it. This is going to be saved on their servers on the YouTube channel.
Okay.
You'll just have to figure out how to go back and.
So we're gonna suffer a little bit because we're dropping back down to 100 proof. But
Heritage Barrel, right? The twice barreled.
This with Peerless, my Peerless single barrel I got from Liquor Barn are, in my memory, my favorite ryes. And
so I know this one is really, really char forward.
Yes, so this one got a little bit of negative feedback because it was too dry. Now I've had we have had the tasters from 22 and 24, which have been much sweeter, and they have answered the call to that. And I
the
love
24. The 24 was better for sure.
Right. However, again, like I always say, I still really, really love this dark char, woody oak note.
It's got its place for sure.
And so on Mary Mash Off, gosh, I don't know what it was, but it was one where it was the Smoke Wagon malted rye with a bunch of malted barley in it too. It was a dark green herbal note, and I get that same thing here.
Okay. So this is bringing it back to the funk for me, and it kind of dials it up quite a bit.
Yeah, and again, dude, I'm fine with that. I am to the point where I have right here. Chad Berry. Chad, I don't know if you watch YouTube much. I know you're kind of not on social media, but if you're watching this, so Chad gave me probably 23 or 4 bottles just all at once one time. This is Rattle and Snap. This is made from Log Still Distillery, which is actually it's on Monks Road, which is right by the monastery that I go to once a year for a little prayer retreat. This is an 8-year Tennessee whiskey. I have looked. If anybody knows details on this, I've been trying to look up stuff on this all the time. As far as I know, it's some TDG or George Dick. I don't know what it is because it's bottled in Kentucky, like the distillery's in Kentucky, in New Haven area, but it's Tennessee whiskey, so by law it has to be distilled in Tennessee. So, anyways, it's 90 proof. It's 8 years old, and it is super funky, like Tennessee funk all the way. And I drank it, I think, 2 weeks ago, and I'm like, dude, I'm all about it. And I know in my mind that back in the day, I'd be like, that's disgusting. Like, I can't do that. Like that's what's weird. But I'm all about Tennessee funk now. Like I absolutely love it.
See, I'm not as high on that as you are. And the nose on this does have that dialed up quite a bit.
It does. It does.
So the nose on this is split for me between the Tennessee Funk and the barrel char, right? And I do like the barrel char note,
Agreed.
and it gives me just a touch of that barbecue Lay's note, like the savory type note on the nose.
Savory. Okay, I like that.
But the funk is pretty present there, and I'm not a huge fan of that. Now, I did
What
already take one sip of it, and I don't feel like the funk is as present on the palate
what is the temperature there currently? So our
outside.
the warm weather I just told you about, we just dropped into the 30s today.
So outside, it was, or at least earlier today, it was in the 40s.
Okay. Do you have a window in that room?
Yeah.
Why don't you do me just a quick favor? Open the window real quick and smell this by the window.
All right. I'll give it a shot.
Just trust me. So usually, everybody, whenever we do tastings, so he lives in San Antonio, so 90% of the time it's going to be warm and muggy and disgusting there. Half the time we do the tastings, it's really pleasant for me in northern Middle Tennessee. So I like to do tastings with either my windows open or outside. Everything becomes sweeter and softer, and I just think that outside, as long as you're in the country, not in the city, but outside air really helps and makes things more beautiful, to be honest. And I love smelling this with outside air. This
It's
is a
funny.
great.
I have 3 windows in my bourbon room, and I opened the one without a screen.
Awesome.
All right. It is definitely chilly. Definitely a crisp, cool night.
It's in the 40s there.
Yeah, a cold front just got pushed down. It got almost to the 30s last night, I think.
Let's see what it is right now.
So obviously the environment changes the nose a little bit, and it does take some of the funk away. But it's giving me something else, and I can't figure out what it is. I can't describe what the note is. I might just keep that window open because it is pretty crisp outside.
So it's 20. Did you hear anything I said?
What?
I was checking the weather. I guess it totally takes me off, but it's 29. It's 29 degrees here.
My love, what's the temperature right now outside? Do you know?
Currently
53. 53 outside.
Okay, so palate is really good. It's what's going to affect me a lot is that we just came off some high proof stuff, and so the mouthfeel on that was almost like dead fish. It was like it was too soft, too easy because
Did you cleanse your palate with some water and stuff?
Yeah, and the second drink was probably better. Again, the palate was still really good. I love the flavor, and actually, I will say this: I got more flavor on it on this drink, with this sip than I ever have before. Um, Probably because the proof was so irrelevant to me. But mouthfeel is important to me. When something is too soft, it almost makes me like gag. Like I struggle when I drink 80 proof stuff now, unless it's the first drink, because it is almost bland feeling to me.
Well, yeah. When I drink 80 proof stuff, it just kind of tastes like water to me. I definitely don't get any kind of like visceral reaction like that. I'll say that the nose on it with the window open has changed slightly, but I'm getting an almost sulfuric note, and not in like the rotten egg type sulfuric, but a lot of red wines. So I've been watching
Oh yes. Okay. How do you? Okay, go ahead, because I don't know how that connects.
So I've been watching recently. So when we've been talking about our history of whiskey and our world whiskey journey, right, that we're trying to do here, I've been watching a guy from New Zealand, and for the most part, his channel is single malts, right? Scotch, a little bit of Irish, but pretty much single malts, right? And as you know, they use almost exclusively, and occasionally they use first fill barrels, but they use always second, third, fourth fill barrels, ex bourbon or ex red wine barrels. And he talked about how you have to be very careful because red wines can impart a heavy sulfuric note on the whiskey. And I think that's what I'm getting, not in a rotten egg sulfur, not like a sulfur, but a sulfuric nose, like a dry red wine. And we've talked about how this is very, very woody and very, very dry. And I think that's what I'm getting.
So I like that dry red wine note you're talking about. Um, like I like it in the sense of I get it, and I like it in the sense of I like it. Um,
I do get
that
a,
that
I
became
do
so
get a,
much better after the palate. I love this. I love this.
I think it's good whiskey. I can appreciate it. This is definitely very off palate for me. And we've talked about this on the 2024 taster release, the toasted marshmallow note. Now, I think it's much sweeter and much more prevalent on the 2024 versus the 23 twice
Agreed.
barreled. I get a hint of that, but that sulfuric red wine note is so present for me that I can't really get past it. I do get a little bit of savory on it.
I think it's more prevalent for you because okay, you really pick out things that you don't like. You pick out things you don't like better than things you do like, right? So this is
Well,
perfect to me. I like that note, and like I've told you before, bourbon got me into red wine. Um,
yeah,
this I would say this is a advanced drink. This is a connoisseur drink. You don't want to start
absolutely.
with this. Um, the 2024 would be a little bit different, but this is a phenomenal drink for me. A phenomenal drink, and it has been every time I've drank it.
Um, I, I, um, I agree with you. It's definitely not. It's definitely an advanced drink, but I'm going to disagree with you when you say like you pick out things you don't like more than you do like. I think that it's
Yeah.
just the fact that it's such a prevalent note that it's hard to get past. Now on the 24 release, I think it's more subdued, and that's why I'm able to kind of get past it a little bit more. Um, but with this one, it's just, and this is probably why it got so much negative review, right? Is because people are
Right.
not as experienced or they don't like that note as much. So that's why I'm having trouble with this one.
Right. But I'm glad you pointed out that red wine note because I, I'm getting it and I really like it. Like, dude,
The only other bourbon that I can think of like offhand that I really get that with is the Woodford Double Oak, but I don't feel like it's quite as unpleasant for me.
you're right. This is a uh, Johnny Depp more muchness red double up. What for double up?
Yeah, yeah, it's dialed up. It's okay. If you want to talk about your red wine sulfuric notes, that barrel, now that's obviously a hard barrel correction, hard bottle to find, but that is absolutely what that is.
So guys, I don't know if you're as much of a rye fan as I am. So and I talked with somebody about this last night at NBC. It took me 2 years to like rye. I hated rye for 2 years. And we were doing a lot of tastings. I mean, in the beginning, Stephen, we were doing every weekend, we were doing five or six
Yeah,
at least. I was like, no, rye, no rye, no rye, no rye, no rye. I kind of liked Wild Turkey Rare Breed Rye. And then literally all of a sudden, overnight, boom, I like rye.
it,
And like
it
bourbon is so much cooler and sexier and it's more expansive and there's more bottles of it. So you like to like bourbon, but sometimes I question myself. I'm like, do I like rye more than bourbon? Like I don't
so
I don't know.
that's where a lot of drinkers start with bourbon, right? The sweeter notes, right? And as you get more experienced, you slowly start to try more ryes, and a lot of people do get into ryes later on in their journey. And I think the same thing happened for us, right?
Mm,
Um, but for me, I like much older ryes, like 12 to 14. I have a 14-year River Roots rye I have a 12-year Southern Collective rye. Though that 12-year plus range in rye for me, sometimes 10 is good too, but it because rye is so much spicier, right? But as you add the age to rye, it subdues the spice,
Yeah.
adds some sweetness,
Yeah.
and that's really my sweet. Like I love that. That could be my favorite genre is really aged rye. Those are so good, and they can be anywhere from super sweet with a hint of mint to all the way up to that like clovey, oaky, antique sweet
Yep.
herbal notes. But
Yep.
the aged ryes, that's where it's at for me.
I will agree. So two things. One, I'm going to say something else, but one, look for on the finish, way back end on the palate, that dark herbal off sweet note that I talked about with the smoke wagon, like that spearmint, red wine spearmint note. And then two, I agree. I think older ryes are better. Young ryes, so the most common rye mash bill, 95.5 MGP, adopted from Pennsylvania. That was the original Pennsylvania mash bill. I always get a bright citrus, spicy chocolate note. The older it gets, always the more that chocolate presents itself. Some ryes can be very very sweet. So what's really cool about this 23 release of the Jack Heritage rye, um, this is almost 3 years in the second barrel. No one's doing that. Nobody else is doing that. The Woodford Reserve double oaked is not even 3 years in the second barrel.
Yeah, so it was 5 years, 4.5 years in the first barrel, and then the second barrel, like you said, was almost 3 years. And
Yeah.
and I think it kind of suffers from almost like a Garrison Brothers type treatment, where the second barrel influenced it so much,
Right.
and that's where you get that heavy sulfuric char note.
So here's
And
something else. Think about the craft and the expertise it takes. Like, okay, if I'm doing one barrel, like I can taste it every day, right? But if I'm
yeah,
doing two barrels, okay, I know a second barrel is coming. So when do I put it into the second barrel? You know
yeah.
what I'm
So
saying?
I,
Like,
I I almost wonder if they were thinking like, oh man, this first barrel's not giving it as much as I want to give it, and so they put it in a second charred barrel and then almost forgot about it because 3 years in a second barrel is a long time.
it is.
And
That's what I'm saying. No one does that. It's not her. No one
yeah,
does.
I'm almost wondering if someone forgot about it and found the barrel later and was like, "Oh, we got to take this out right now."
I
Um,
I don't believe that. I
it's
like people talk about that all the time. I don't believe that shit. Like,
but you
they
gotta
have
think about how many
spreadsheets.
barrels they have.
I understand that, but they have spreadsheets and I mean hundreds of tasters that go through all the time. Like,
Yeah, but when did ownership transfer? You know what I mean? Like they were probably. I think that's around the time where they
no.
started.
When did the master distiller transfer?
I'm sorry, excuse me, not ownership, the distiller transfer. Like I feel like it was kind of that time where things were changing in Jack, 21, 22, 23, because they rebarreled it in 20. And I feel like that's right about the time where things started changing. And this is one of those whiskeys to me that I can appreciate the quality of the whiskey without really liking the profile. And so for me,
I hear
and
you.
let's go ahead and give it a score. For me, this is going to be a much lower score, and it's not because it's a bad whiskey; it's because it's very off profile for me.
Sure.
And
I'm
so
gonna
for me,
go 80, 87.
87. See, this is where we're going to we have a lot of very similar scores in a lot of whiskeys, but this is where we're going to diverge quite a bit.
We always do on rye. We always have different scores on rye.
This to me, this is a good whiskey, but this is very off profile for me. This is going to get a subpar score for me, and I'm probably going to go. I'm gonna go 73 on this. Um, so let's see, -7 +7. Yeah, so this is gonna get an average score of 80. Um, but with that score, it's very, very different. I give it 73. You give it 87. It's just very off profile for me. I like the more aged, sweeter rye, more balanced rye, and that's not what that is for me. Looks like you're frozen. I'm not sure if you jumped off somehow on accident.
I was sending Justin the link to see if he had some time.
All right, so we're moving on now to the single barrel strength store pick.
And it is a store pick, and we have the same one, guys. So this is from Red Carpet and Gallatin. We have the same barrel. Gosh, I think the guy, actually it is. The guy's name is Donnie that picked this. Again, I can almost guarantee he's not watching. But he picked this. I actually met him at one of the tastings at Red Carpet, and man, he did a phenomenal job on this bottle. I
mean, just off the jump, the sweetness coming off of that spice barrel is so much higher. What's the age on this thing? You have the bottle in front of you?
Yeah. It doesn't say.
Okay, so this one for me, this is more. This is closer to what I like, right? You got the sweet, you got the spice, a little bit of herbal, a little bit of clovey. I don't want to go full.
I like the clovey note.
But it's not a heavy clove note. It's just enough.
So very, very, very spicy mint.
Yeah, more minty than clovey. Yeah, you're right. I'm gonna go mint. I'm gonna go sweet mint.
Hang on.
Very dinner mint. This is very dinner mint for me.
Evergreen.
It's so strong. Like the minty spiciness of it is so strong that you got to kind of come off of it. You can't just keep taking nose after nose, which is something I like about some rye.
Dude, I am.
The sweet.
I could take an IV of this. Like you could stick this up my nose for the rest of the night.
The sweetness combined with that strong dinner mint note. That's what I like about rye, is because it's so bold.
Oh shit.
Well, some of us can handle our whiskey.
Some of us can. So I don't know if you've been on here yet, but ironically enough, the guy that asked us to do this tasting, his name is Steven. And I've been trying to @ him and mention him, and I'm so stupid, I can't figure out how to @ people in the comments.
Computers are hard, man.
They really are. Look, I'm just from Tennessee. Like, I don't know what you want from me, but
see that. Oh man, that is such an intense bottle. A lot of sweet, a lot of mint, a lot of proof. What's the proof on this one?
133, 1, 1, 4.
133. So high proof, not crazy, but pretty high up there.
133.7.
That is great. It is just, and again, we talked about this with the single barrel strength, but the rye version as well. Still, $55. A lot of times the store picks go for 60 to 70. Still, the value is immense.
Right. So let's emphasize that a little bit. And again, the Jack allocations are still great price for being allocations, but for a everyday shelfer, literally, I mean, if you don't, I don't know who doesn't have these. Like, put in the comments if you don't have a single barrel strength rye or regular Tennessee whiskey in any of your stores. I've never.
Well, a lot of people don't have them because it's Jack and they don't realize how good it is.
No, I'm saying in your stores. Like,
oh yeah,
I don't know of a store that doesn't have these. Phenomenal value. Like, again, given the option of, hey, do you want to pay $65 for one of these, or do you want to pay? And again, I haven't had the 10-year tail yet, so we'll use the 14 or the Coy Hill, for example. Do you want to pay $65 for a single barrel strength, or $150 for Coy Hill or 14.
Well, that's assuming you can get them MSRP. The Coy Hill and the Tanner Hill are roughly 450 to 700 depending on proof.
Right.
So
let's make it realistic. Do you want to pay 400 for those, or do you want to pay 65 for this? Duh. Right. Like
exactly. And you're not going to find the Coy Hill or Tanner Hill, but you will find these single barrel strengths on every single shelf in almost every single store. And 55 to $60, bro. Like you just can't beat the value.
Jack Daniels and Wild Turkey, I feel like, okay, so again, they made billions of dollars selling Jack and 101, but I feel like they've almost hurt themselves for the connoisseur whiskey because of the amount of cheap liquor they've sold over the years.
Well, I don't think they hurt themselves. I think they just don't care to price gouge as much because Wild Turkey does it. All the special Wild Turkey releases are that expensive.
Well, that's true.
But Jack is honestly the only one. Well, Buffalo Trace too. Buffalo Trace MSRP whiskey is actually cheaper than Jack is in most offerings, right? Well, actually, no, not quite, but close to, right? Buffalo Trace MSRP and Jack MSRP are two of the only brands that still don't price gouge their customers. Every other brand, including Wild Turkey, including Beam, because you got your Bookers that are 120-ish, you got your Lineage and your what other? Oh, your what's the other Jim Beam high end stuff? Oh, Knob Creek. Well, Knob Creek's reasonable. Knob Creek's reasonable.
Yeah. Speaking of which, if you guys don't know Lineage, Lineage is a distiller release only, and so it releases like in June or July. I have been as late as August and September and still seen it on the shelf because no one knows what it is, and tourists aren't just going to buy a $250 bottle. Go to Jim Beam this upcoming summer in July and buy this bottle. Like
Phenomenal.
Phenomenal product. Absolutely great. So Steven's got batch 1 and 2. I've tasted both of them. In my mind, I like batch 2 more. He's saying that batch 1's better, but dude, they're sitting on the shelves. Like they have tons and tons of them.
Yeah.
And they last forever because no one talks about it. No one knows what it is. And Jim Beam is just getting a bunch of regular tourists, and they're not going to pick up a $250 bottle. They have no idea what they're looking at.
The Lineage was originally supposed to be an overseas only release, but COVID happened. It was a 2021 release, and COVID happened, so they couldn't get the release to for some reason the logistics didn't work. So instead of making it an overseas release, they made it a distillery only release. And let me tell you something, it's $250, and that is a lot for a bottle of whiskey. But considering the fact that most annual releases now are in the $200 to $300 range, it is absolutely on par, if not better, than most annual releases. So if you have an opportunity to get one, I think it is worth, if you want to splurge. If you want to splurge on a special bottle, it is definitely good enough to splurge on.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get a ranking for the single barrel strength.
Dude, it was weird. As much as I praised it, I'm going to give it a lower score than the Heritage Barrel. Still phenomenal, but I'm going to go 85.
85. Okay, so this is where we're going to differ. I'm gonna definitely go higher than the twice barrel or the Heritage Barrel twice barreled rye. Let me see here. I don't know if I'm going to go 85.
It's Uncle Steve.
Let's see. King, stop. King. Let's see. Let me look back at my Jack Daniels Tennessee whiskey scores. Is it as good as Jack 12? No, I don't think so. You know what? I'm gonna agree with you. This specific barrel, I'm gonna go 85. I agree. This specific barrel, 85. They could be better or worse, but I agree with you on that one.
Yeah.
Great bottle, $55, $50 to $60.
Yeah,
absolutely. All right, so brand new release, Tanyard Hill. This is the new hotness.
Yeah. I'm not
One.
gonna rush this, but
It won Rye of the Year for Bourbon Junkies.
Crap. Holy crap.
Let me get it spread out on my glass here.
Hey,
This is
is Leah still watching? Is she one of the viewers? I want to know who the viewers
love. Are you still in the video? Yeah. So Leah's still here.
So who is our other viewer? Our other single viewer?
Probably Aaron. If I had to guess, it's Aaron.
This is a phenomenal.
Whoever viewer number 2 is, let us know in the chat so we can maybe we'll do a little giveaway. Maybe you'll get a sample of one of these really allocated bottles.
I love that nose. That is great.
I'm getting more spice on the nose. Are you getting more spice?
I'm getting spice, but I'm getting softness and sweetness and dark. I can't even read that. Who is that?
That's Leah.
Oh. It's the longest tag I've ever seen.
I feel like, did her tag get longer?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, that's a...
No, it's just one of those. It's one of those YouTube names that like add numbers on the end of it. Okay, so off the rip, I think this is gonna follow kind of like the single barrel strength versus Jack 14 type stuff. where it's kind of like more dark and wise. Not another wise. Yeah, so this is 137.4 proof.
Mm-mm. The age.
Oh, age. My bad. Let me look. Let's see. Barrel entry, October of 15. Release date, August of 25. So it is 2 months short of 10 years old.
Okay.
So very similar to the Coy Hill, where it's about 10 years old, but obviously on the higher floors. There's an interesting note on here that I'm trying to identify. Are you getting a metallic note?
Metallic?
Yeah.
No. Where are your boys
I'm getting.
at?
Where my kids at?
Yeah.
Their mother is taking care of them. They're watching. I think. So remember that projector I told you about that I got?
Oh, yeah.
I think some of them might be watching a movie in the room with a projector, and then Leah is with the other ones. I am getting a slightly metallic note, like.
Honestly,
Like if
dude,
you were to.
this smells like Heritage Barrel, but better. Like this is a higher proof Heritage Barrel.
Okay, hold on. So I just went back to the Heritage Barrel. You said that, and I went back to Heritage Barrel. I don't know when the last time you shot guns with, but it has a burnt gunpowder noise, excuse me, smell. So like if you were to shoot a bunch of, if you were to go to the range and shoot a bunch, it has a burnt gunpowder smell. The twice barreled Heritage Barrel.
I
Right.
follow that.
Yeah,
I think
absolutely.
that comes off of the red wine note, though.
The slightly sulfuric note. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think that's what that is.
That is really cool. I've never heard that note before. It's burnt gunpowder, and obviously I reload a lot, so that note. Your hands get.
I like that.
Oh, that is so, and that's just another example of how what you're drinking before and after can absolutely significantly affect the profiles of the whiskey you're having.
So let's kind of segue into that. So that is how I curate flights, everybody. So I curate based off of, again, you can throw x number of great bourbons or whiskeys into a flight, but what makes a flight truly curated is that it builds. It tells a story. You can slide up and down, and it enhances each other, right? So because those molecules are literally flooding up your nose and getting stuck in your nose, you have to pay attention to that. Can I get down, baby? You have to pay attention to that, right? You have to understand that one drink leads into the next, and the next drink leads back into the other. You gotta touch that. That's how I curate flights. So something could be really good and might have the note I'm looking for, but if it doesn't fit with the before and the after, then it doesn't fit, right? That's the art and the craft of curating a truly good flight.
Yeah, absolutely. If you just take a bunch of good whiskeys and throw them together, it can really skew the perceived quality of one whiskey to the next. Um, and that's why it takes a special kind of skill to really make a flight successful. People talk about, people coin the term the four roses effect because it's so a lot of times it's different than your average bourbon, but it's really all whiskeys that can do that to each other,
Yep.
and people don't realize that unless they really really get into it. The last flight we curated together, where we built on the oak profile, we had some really really good whiskeys that just didn't go with the other ones. And even though it was super high quality and super good on any given night, after, coming off that Knob Creek 14 and a half year single barrel, things just couldn't, follow that whiskey up,
Yeah.
but you kind of have to build to that. We went with the Peerless single barrel because it had that oaky jam, that strawberry jam note that led into the Knob Creek note. And then from the Knob Creek, you went into that Nashville Barrel Company because it had enough oomph and enough oak on it to carry after that phenomenal single barrel. So you really got to be careful when people are doing reviews and they're doing like blind battles and they're just haphazardly throwing things together. They might on a given night, like for example, Knob Creek 21. The Bourbon Junkies have done that barrel 3 or 4 times in the last few months. And it's the first time they did it, they didn't like it, and then they put it in some blinds with other bottles, and it really shined. Well, it's because it's being heavily influenced by the other things they're drinking it with. So you can't just say something's good or bad based on what it's around.
Right. So I've been more conscious of that, y'all, in my reviews. Whenever I'm doing reviews, that either I'm doing them by themselves or I'm doing them with. If it's a blind battle, I'm either completely clearing my palate and nose, and I have an air purifier in my room, or I am doing something that is similar together. Everybody, he can come here.
So on the Tanyard Hill, I'm getting a little bit more of that red wine sulfuric note again. The single barrel strength was a lot higher on the sweet spicy scale.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like Tanyard Hill is really just because it has that extra time in the barrel. Like it's almost the same product as the Heritage.
It is, but it's not as sulfuric, and it's not as like. I keep going back to the Garrison Brothers because Garrison Brothers is like the most extreme profile on the leather tannin scale. Like there's nothing that I can ever think of that's more heavy on the tannin and leather. But this really does have a very red wine-esque aged note, and for a rye, that's not common for me.
Yeah, this is great.
Honestly, I'm not super heavy on this, Michael. This is not my profile. I feel like it's not young. It's 10 years old almost, just shy of 10. But the Southern Collective 12-year and the River Roots 14-year rye for me are much better for my profile. I think you're gonna love this bottle.
I do.
and I know the Bourbon Junkies gave it a high score, and a lot of people gave it a very high score, and it's a very, very high quality whiskey. But it's just off profile for me.
That's fine. I'm going to give it an 89.
89, huh?
Yep.
Okay. Honestly, this is not going to score as high on for me as what. It's hard. It's hard because I can appreciate the quality of the whiskey while also understanding that it's not my profile. So I'm going to give it. You know what? I'm going to agree with you on this because I can appreciate how quality it is. Quality it is. Like, for example, the Highland Park 12 is a Scotch, right? I don't like Scotch, and I don't like smoke, but I know how good the whiskey is. I'm going to give it an 88. No, yeah, I'm going to give it an 88.
I get a smoke too. This is great. That might be my favorite rye of all time.
For me, it's not my favorite rye of all time, but it is one of the highest quality ryes that I've ever had. So the score on that one, honestly, I was looking really forward to that one, and I'm a little bit disappointed. It's kind of like one of those things that are so overhyped, and you're not quite satisfied with the ending score.
Right. But again, on the other hand, it's you're not a rye fanatic.
Well, I don't want to say that because I do really like ryes are some of my favorite aged ryes, some of my favorite bottles. It's just the sulfuric note, I think, for me really lowers it.
Sure.
But it definitely didn't score as well for us as the 12, 14, and Coy Hill.
Yeah.
So if you like that profile, I think it's going to blow your socks off.
Yeah, it does mean this is my favorite rye of all time. I will confidently say that.
And I'm looking forward to because we're also going to be doing best ryes of 2025. So we'll see how it measures up. But and you know what? If we're not coming off of Tennessee whiskey / bourbon, maybe it's different.
Right.
But for me, it's a little bit of a letdown. Now, if you can get it at MSRP, don't even question it. Buy the bottle, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, all right. So best bourbon / Tennessee whiskey of the night for us was the Coy Hill, slightly edged out the Jack Daniel's 14. Best rye of the night obviously was a Tanyard Hill, but you just can't go wrong with Jack. Like value wise, probably number one in value MSRP wise. Don't count it out. Brown-Forman products are great. If you guys have if you guys are watching this back as a replay from the live stream, let us know any questions you have, any bottles you want us to review next, and your thoughts if you've had these.
Yeah. So again,
you got any closing?
Jack Daniel's. Jack Daniel's has become one of the best brands, in my opinion. Definitely love their rye as well. But thank you guys for watching, everybody that did or tuned in at all. And like Stephen said in the comments, let us know any questions or anything you'd like to see in the future. This is going to be a new series, Brothers in Bourbon. We'll be doing allocations and high-end things of the day, or maybe some dusties if we ever get something. But just cool drinks, kind of themed, and going over them and just just shooting the shit with them. But thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. But we're gonna get some dinner and just really appreciate all the support we've gotten from y'all. I really appreciate that. This is huge. So
See you next time, guys.
yeah.